Hey everybody, welcome to our first ever virtual retreat. We are so excited, Cindy and I, to host this event today. We hope that you, whether you're watching live with us right now or you're watching any of the recording of this, we hope that you bring some snacks, some drinks, that you are ready with a notebook and you are just focused and ready to not only learn and feel empowered and equipped, but also we're going to be in action. So hopefully you came. Cindy and I were finalizing some stuff today, and she's like, oh, my mind is not working. And I started cracking up because I too just took my vitalizer and my mind worked. So, and I accidentally also dumped cold water on my lap. So I am alert, I am ready, and so is Cindy. And we are so excited that you have joined us today. So make sure that you, as much as you can control, we hope that you're in a quiet space that you can really focus and get some good stuff accomplished today, because we are going to be empowering you after we educate. We're going to make sure that you are equipped to get into action right away with all the different things that we're teaching today. So we're going to get started with a really cool opening from our director of sales in the East region. He's newer to Shaklee. I think this summer maybe he joined the corporate team, but we asked him to join us today to share some wisdom and some insight on mindset. And we also hope that it encourages you to know exactly how much support we have from the corporate office. They are there a phone call away, a text away, a Facebook message away. They are so accessible, and there are so many people who really want to support you. So we're going to kick things off today with a cool 15-minute message from Joe Carden, our director of sales. Make sure I have everybody in here. All right, let's go.
All right, how's it going? My name is Joe Carden. I'm the Director of Sales here at Shaklee in the East region. And I have the pleasure to work with Crystal and Cindy and Dana and all the leaders in the East. And Crystal and Cindy asked me to jump on today and chat with you for your virtual retreat. I'm super excited to see it. I love the topic they asked me to talk about, and that topic is mindset. So when I think of mindset, I can't help but think of a story in my past, and that story is a story about cycling. So if I have the chance to talk with you long enough, pretty soon the subject's going to come around to cycling, road biking, hiking, being in the outdoors or whatever. But in terms of cycling, I really love cycling. It's really fun for me. There's a great community behind cycling. I think a lot of people don't know about, but you get a ride with a lot of great people, see a lot of beautiful scenery. My brother introduced me to cycling, and I was cycling for a couple of months. And the biggest, baddest race around where we live is a race called Lodesha, and it's 202 miles, the longest USA cycling sanctioned race in the United States. And it goes over 3 mountain passes. And we were talking about this race, and one thing led to another, and we were like, hey, if you do it, I'll do it. And we were both like, okay, let's do it. Let's rock and roll. And I had committed to it, and it really scared me. It scared me. I was like, what did I just say I was going to do? It scared me to think about completing such a long race, having only been cycling. I got a bike in October, and I committed to doing the race, I think in January. So, but I was in. I decided I wanted to do it. I love cycling. I love the community. I love riding with my brother. And what we did is we found a great community of riders that had similar goals to us, right? And we trained every single day. We trained hard. We watched our nutrition. We pushed ourselves physically. And the race was in September. So we get to the race, and my brother had the stomach flu. And I'd stayed at his house. So I showed up at the starting line, and my stomach was doing flip-flops, and I was really feeling like, oh my gosh, I think I caught the stomach bug from my brother. And all these negative thoughts were going through my brain. It was like, oh, there's no way you're going to finish this with the stomach flu. You paid $300 to register for this, and you bought hotel rooms, and you traveled, and you did all this stuff, and your wife's going to be super mad that you didn't do the race because you had the stomach flu and blah, blah, blah. All these negative things were attacking my mind, right? And in my job, I've been doing, I've been in this industry for about 15 years now. And I realized the power of thinking positive. You got to think positive, right? And you got to have a great mindset in order to achieve great things. So I decided that every time I had a negative thought come into my mind, what I would do is replace that with a positive thought. Instead of talking down to myself and talking myself out of being successful, I would talk myself into being successful. I made the decision to choose to have faith every single time something negative came into my brain. So I kept going. The stomach flu symptoms lessened throughout the race. And I'm riding with this community of great people. And even this community of great people who had done this race several times begin to complain. And it was like, oh my gosh, why did we sign up for this? What are we doing? I've never felt so bad. My legs are killing me. All this negative talk starts coming down the pike, right? By the way, we had trained hard enough to where originally we just wanted to complete the race, right? The 202 miles. After we had actually trained hard enough and aligned our training with our desired outcome of finishing the race, we started getting faster and faster and faster. And then we decided, hey, we don't want to just complete the race. We want to do this in a very respectable time. We want to finish it in under 10 hours. So we were a few minutes behind our checkpoints, along the way. And the complaining started to become more and more prevalent. I just kept thinking in my mind, choose to have faith. And I would try and be that buoy system to lift other people up and to help other people have faith. I think I got some sort of something stuck on my face here, like a hair or something. Anyway, I kept deciding to choose to have faith. I continue to push forward. I continue to try and lift those up around me. And we're a couple of minutes late already, and we're riding through one of our checkpoints where we got our food, and the team was like, we can't keep this up. This is not going to, we're not going to be able to make it. I said, just jump on my wheel. In cycling, you draft off of each other. The person in the front has to do most of the work. So they're riding on my wheel, and I'm riding, I'm feeling good, and all of a sudden my rear tire pops. And I'm like, oh man, we're already behind. The team's already gassed. They're like, Joe, can you catch us? And I'm like, I'll try, keep going. So that I've lost my team. I can't, take turns drafting. I've got a flat tire, and I'm behind our scheduled time to be where we needed to be at that moment. We're about 120 miles, 130 miles into the race. So the voice in my head said, Joe, choose to have faith. You can do this. So I got off my bike. I changed the tire as fast as I could. Got the tire, pumped back up. By this time, the team's already up the road, and I'm like, okay, I can catch them. I'm choosing to have faith. I'm going to do this. I ride about another 100 yards, and then I got another flat tire. And now I'm like, okay, can I do this? I'm not sure if I can do this. All these negative thoughts are coming into my head, and they're like, there's no way you're going to get the sub 10 time. You're not going to catch your team. You've got 2 flat tires. Why should you even try? All of these things start coming through my mind, right? And I remembered, I was feeling overpowered by negativity at that moment in time. And then I remember just thinking, you have a decision to make right now. Are you going to feel sorry for yourself? And are you going to quit? Are you going to make the decision to stop trying right now? And I realized, no, I don't want to make the decision to stop trying. I'm not going to let those negative voices in my head determine what my results are going to be. And I chose to have faith. And I got off my bike, and here's the clincher. I didn't have any more tires or tubes. I'd used my tube already to change the first one. And I was like, just choose to have faith, Joe. Choose to have faith. We can figure this out. And literally, as I'd said that to myself in my mind, a car pulls over and is like, hey, do you need help? And I was like, yes, I have a flat tire, and I don't have any other tubes. I need a tube. And the lady sitting in the car hands me a bike tube and says, here you go. It was like the universe heard my brain choosing to have faith. So I grabbed the tube. I thanked the lady. I get the tire changed to get the new tube on. And it's off to the races. I know at this point in time, if I need to catch my team, or if I'm going to, more importantly, get across the finish line in under 10 hours, I was going to have to go into the pain cave. I was going to have to try harder than I tried anything in my life. And I decided I was going to do that. I was going to pay the price. I was going to push myself to the absolute limit to achieve what I wanted to do. And I did. I continued to drive that last 60, 70 miles, till I crossed the finish line. And I tried harder than I'd ever tried at anything in my life to do that. And at the end of the day, I crossed the finish line at 9:59:43, 17 seconds under 10 hours. And it was such a fulfilling, almost spiritual experience for me. But what really helped me achieve that feat, I guess you could say, was having the proper mindset not to give up. In your business, with Shaklee, and in your life even, just any time, the flat tires of life are going to hit you. It's not always going to be smooth sailing. The wind's not always going to be at your back. You're going to have to push through those headwinds. You're going to get the flat tires. You're going to get the setbacks that will inevitably happen all the time, right? From time to time, at least. And you have to make the decision, what am I going to do? Am I going to decide to quit? Am I going to decide to give up? Or am I going to decide to pursue my dreams and achieve what I came here to do? Now at Shaklee, I'm super excited about what we've got going on in 2020. We've got the 20K and 2020 bonus, which is absolutely amazing. Can you believe that on top of all the other streams of income that you can earn through Shaklee, that you're going to be able to earn a 20K bonus, or at least a portion of that 20K is absolutely phenomenal, right? And then you have all sorts of amazing things. I'm telling you, there's going to be some stuff that will come out of the pipeline at convention that's going to be incredible, that will be game changers for sure. And honestly, life is what you make it, right? There's going to be people who rest on their laurels, who are going to say, oh man, I got a flat tire. I had to quit. I couldn't do it anymore. It's too hard. Well, of course you did. That's why you're not the winner. That's why you're not the one who achieved incredible things, right? You gave up because the flat tires of life hit you. And instead of picking yourself up and dusting yourself off and continuing to push forward, you stayed down in the dust, right? So honestly, one thing I can tell you guys is that we have an amazing opportunity to help people. A businessman, an entrepreneur that I know that was just absolutely phenomenal, the late, great Frank Barrett, told me this. And he said to me, Joe, if you find a need and fill it, or find a wound and heal it, you'll be a successful businessman. And I was like, okay. Right? I'm going to keep that in my pocket and think about that. I decided to join Shaklee. I walked away from a situation where I was seeing hyper growth at another company because I believe in what we're doing here. I believe that what we have is needed, right? When has health ever been at more of in high demand than what it is today? Obesity rates are off the charts. People are eating horrible food. They're running into heart disease, the number one killer of people in the United States. Newsflash, highly, highly preventable, right? We've got all these things like type 2 diabetes that are affecting everybody. These sedentary lifestyles and poor nutrition are crippling our country. And the beautiful thing is you have a community and a product line and a system to be able to help these people and make money doing it. What a rewarding opportunity. And here's my commitment to you guys. As a corporate sales director, I have your back. I work with Cindy, I work with Crystal, I work with all of these other amazing leaders in the East and across the country my job is to fan the flames and really help share technique, help with accountability, help with whatever it is that you need help with. Not only me, but the entire sales team is locking arms and joining forces with you guys. And we're going to march forward to some serious success in 2020. So I'm super excited about what we have going on right now. There's definitely going to be some great things happening. And I'm grateful that you guys are here and have made the decision to push forward. In terms of mindset, one of the things that I would say is when your mindset's in a great place, then your actions will follow. You know, if you've chosen to do something, and you're excited about what you're doing, and you believe that what you're doing is worthwhile, then you're going to put the actions in to make that happen, right? Or to achieve your dreams or whatever it is that you're shooting to achieve, your goals, right? So if belief is good, then action follows. If consistent action of the right behaviors are in place, then consistent results will then follow as well. I would just challenge you guys, some of the things you've been seeing lately on the Shaklee effect are pursuing these things like the high five, right? Posting on social media, expanding your sphere of social influence, meaning you're getting to know people on social media, whether that's Instagram, Facebook, and or in person, right? But you need to be connecting with the right people every day that will be ultimately, I always talk about saying, begin with the end in mind. Who are the people that will end up being a great distributor for Shaklee? Who are the people that are interested in helping others, working from home, right? I'll tell you this much right now. People who are dominating the industry are women who are in their late 20s to late 40s. They're oftentimes working in jobs like being a school teacher, being a nurse, working in HR, doing all these other things that really essentially are helping other people, or just being a stay-at-home mom. Those people would love to be engaged in an awesome community. I always talk about it being the train to Awesomeville. You got to create this community through your mindset and your own belief and your actions that is essentially gaining this momentum of going someplace awesome. You want people to jump on your train to Awesomeville, and when they can tell that you're headed someplace great, they're going to want to be on that train with you. And the more momentum you build, the more gravity you'll have to attract more and more people, right? This is the train to Awesomeville, but we've got to have the proper mindset and the proper action to get that train moving. So I appreciate you guys. You're absolutely amazing. Thanks for your time today. Hope I didn't go too far over your time limit, Cindy and Stacy. But you guys are amazing. I can't wait to see what 2020 has in store for you and your teams. Thanks, everybody. We'll catch you later.
All right. So I have gotten to know Joe over the course of the last few months and just appreciate him so much. And I do want to let you know that not only is Joe part of the director of sales team, but there are multiple other people too who are more than willing at corporate to connect with you, to talk with you one-on-one. So if that's something that you would love to gain motivation, accountability, and fanning the fire that he talked about, connect with Cindy and I. We'd love to connect you to them so they could get to know you a little bit better too. So I thought it'd be what other better way than some inspiration from Joe, but also to really kick this off today with the Shaklee story. This is a new video. I'm honored that our family is kind of bits and pieces of our family are splattered throughout this video. Is a cool thing to be a part of. But I wanted to share this, so many new faces on this training today, and it always grounds me into my excitement and passion for Shaklee. So let's watch this 2-minute video, and then we'll get things started.
Thank you very much, and we hope that the following message will be of sufficient importance for you to really take home and digest. Days of success. Questions always in one form or another. Why are Shaklee products so outstanding? The only answer I can give, they are outstanding because the creator of these products,
things seem dead wrong, you wouldn't be listening to what I have to say today.
Oh my goodness. I love that video so much. I love it. Let me pull this up here again. I'm gonna delete this YouTube, get back to my PowerPoint. Oh my goodness, that video fires me up like no other. I think it is so cool to hear Dr. Shaklee's voice talking, but just to see all that Shaklee has accomplished over the course of over 100 years of innovation and developed since 1956. And so we are so excited to bring all the tools that Shaklee has available to us to help you grow your business. And so a couple of cool quotes here that I thought I would share to get things started. I need to hide my video panel here. There we go. This is one of my all-time favorite quotes from Dr. Shaklee. What you think you look, what you think you do, and what you think you are. The power of mindset. And so we're going to be talking a lot about that throughout the training today, making sure that your headspace is right. Also, another quote, to accomplish great things, we must not only act, but also dream, not only plan, but also believe. So I am so excited to move into the core of what we are going to be doing today. And so let's get started. Okay, so first of all, I want you guys to be thinking about not just what sometimes we start kicking things off with when we maybe are starting a new distributor, maybe even at a conference that you've been to, and you hear people talk a lot about dreams and these huge goals, and if time and money were no issue, what would you want? Those are all really, really important things to be thinking about. And it's always really cool to have a dream board and really start casting a vision. But first and foremost, we need to make sure that we are creating and telling a story that is real, authentic, and relatable for present times, for everyday people who can really relate to the things that you are striving towards. Now, if you're in this business, you have a heart for helping people, even if it's just your own family, that you have a passion for wellness and for helping, impacting, leaving a legacy. We all are doing this for various reasons. However, I will point out that this is a business, and if you started a business, you're excited about the income possibilities for you and your family. So sometimes income is not talked about enough, and wanting to increase your income sometimes has no, don't talk about money. Guess what? Money is good. Money allows us to do a lot of really great things in this world, a lot of positive things, giving back, quality time with our family, paying off debt, living life in abundance and into its fullest, which is the way I believe God wanted us to live our lives. And so let's talk about the necessities, the things that you have in your life that you need. What are some relatable things that you can use your Shaklee income for on a daily basis? What are some things that you need? Maybe it is a mortgage. Maybe it is that you need to pay off your car. Maybe your child really, really would love to be added to, a extracurricular activity, something that you have as a need in your family that this extra income could be used for. The reason it's important to know what you're using this money for and what this extra supplemental income is coming in for is because when you're talking with people and you're sharing the opportunity for them to join your team and to have a side gig, it's easier to talk about. You don't need to talk about the bells and the whistles and the cars, trips, cash, and making it look like this unrealistic thing. Those are all really great incentives. But what if you said, I decided to start, I'll just tell you me. I'll tell you my own scenario. When I started my Shaklee business, I had become a stay-at-home mom, and I was looking for a way to just bring in enough money to do two things. One, pay for my used car payment, and 2, some extra cushion for the groceries. That's why I started my Shaklee business. Yes, I wanted to impact the world. Yes, I wanted to leave my mark. Yes, I wanted to change lives. But I had a need, and that need was it would really be helpful if I could pay for my used car, my payment. And that's a relatable story because people also have car payments and mortgages and things that they can relate to. One of my best friends who's on this training, Tiffany, I remember when we sat down and met, she said, I'm like, what's a goal that you have? And what's something that you need? And one of the things she said was, I would love to go to the grocery store, not having to have a calculator and being on such a crazy budget that I need to calculate everything that I'm buying. And that's a relatable thing. So for the next few minutes, I would love for you to take a minute and pick 3 things that your family needs. 3 things. How could you use this extra money coming in? Maybe it's to pay for your wellness products that you get from Shaklee every day. Write down 3 things that your income from Shaklee could go towards, because that's going to be part of your story. I'm going to set a timer, and I'm just going to give you just 3 minutes, actually, which is very quick. Don't overthink it, of things that your Shaklee income could go towards. Go. As you are finishing up and writing down a few things, there's a chat option in the Zoom webinar down at the bottom. Go ahead and share in the chat how some of your family's needs could be met by increasing your income through Shaklee. And let's get some of this in the chat to kind of get some interaction going. Well, 30 more seconds. All right. I love seeing all of these things in the chat. That's awesome. Work off debt, pay groceries, student loans. A lot of student loans listed there. Gotta love that. Emergency fund, building your savings, help paying for Shaklee items for your lifestyle and your family. All such awesome things, and things that are very relatable. And so I want you to be very mindful of that. As you're talking and you're sharing with people and you feel like you're trying to find all the right things to say, just be authentic and share why you decided to start your Shaklee business and the ways that it's going to help your family as well. Hi, let's see. There we go. Okay, so let's move on, and let's talk about very briefly the rich history and legacy of Dr. Shaklee and Shaklee as a corporation. A lot of you know this, but this is something that I love to highlight when I'm talking to people. We have over 100 years of innovation. For the past 100 years, Shaklee's been ahead of the time in innovating through science, making things as close to nature as possible, but proven by science. So did you know, I love these pictures because these are like the authentic products. But in 1915, Dr. Shaklee created Vitalized Minerals, which was one of the very first multivitamins on the market. In fact, Vitalee today is what Vitalized Minerals were back then. Super cool. And then in 1960, Basic H became one of the very first non-toxic biodegradable cleaners. It was one of Oprah's favorite things. Get Clean products are used in the White House. It's an amazing thing in innovation that continues to be one of our top selling products. And then of course, 1972, Instant Protein, one of the very first soy protein isolate formulas. So anybody using any kind of protein powder today can thank Dr. Shaklee. So I love highlighting those things because it's something we're so proud of. And then also, this 100 years of innovation. I mean, we have like over 350 products. I don't even know the number at this point. So many amazing products from so many product lines that are powerful pieces to wellness that we have the opportunity to offer to other people. I would love so much in the chat right now if you would share one of your favorite products that has improved your health and how. Type that in the chat now, just very briefly. This is going to be a cool way. Make sure everybody has your chat open so that you can see, because this is going to be a cool way of you to learn about other products people are using that are really helping them in some way, and it will familiarize you with some products. So in the chat, I'm going to do it too. Type in one product, maybe something a little bit outside of the norm that you might think to write. Look at all those. Oh, I love this. So many different ones. Life Shake, Vitalizer, Nutrifuron, MindWorks. Hello. Yep, I just had that. In fact, look, it's funny. My MindWorks is sitting right here because I just took it. Alfalfa with inflammation, joint health complex. Oh, that's been a favorite of mine too. Tons of alfalfa. Core Energy. Core Energy is one that a lot of people don't use and even talk about, but it is amazing. Vitalized Immunity, Formula I, that's another one that people don't talk about. Pain Relief Complex, love it so much. GLA has been a recent favorite of mine the last 6 months. It's helped my cycle so much. So awesome. You can keep adding stuff to that. Vivix, again, Vivix is not talked about enough either. But as you can see, there's so many amazing products, and you have a story to share because of what you just posted in that chat. We're going to be talking a lot about how you can authentically share. So you've heard referenced quite a bit in the last month even from Shaklee. This is something we've done in our team for a while called the Daily High Five. And a lot of our training today is going to be based around the Daily High Five, but we're going to break down each component and really equip and educate you about it and empower you to get into action today with each of these topics. So for the Daily High Five, what is the Daily High Five? These are what I like to kind of view in my mind, and as I'm planning my week out and what I'm doing in my day, the power of this business is consistency. Making sure that everything that you are striving for is not just sporadic when you feel like it, but rather that you're just doing small, consistent daily actions that lead to huge results. And so on this particular graphic, it says 5 invites, 5 follow-ups, 5 connections, personal development, and social media posts. So for me, at the very minimum, these are the 5 things that I'm going to make sure I do in the name of Shaklee in my business every single day. Now, your number might look different than 5 invites every single day. Maybe yours is 3 invites. Maybe it's 2 invites. Maybe it's 10 invites. Whatever you want to commit to, that's on you, and you know your time, your commitment, your ability to stick to it. So that can look whatever you and your business coach decide is best for you. I personally like to do 5, 5, and 5. Oftentimes, though, I end up doing more than that because I get in a flow and I'm able to do those things really, really well and consistently. Also, with the daily high five, it's powerful because yesterday I was gone all day. I was at my daughter's dance competition for like 10 hours and then came home, changed my clothes, and went on a date with my husband to a concert. So I was gone all day long, and I knew that day was going to be busy. And so on Friday, I doubled what I would have normally done to make up for what I couldn't do tomorrow. So that's something that you can do too. But let's talk about the very first thing. We're going to break down inviting into a lot of different ways of inviting. I think sometimes that we get a little overwhelmed with the concept of inviting. You don't know what to say, what to reach, who to reach out to, what to talk to them about, and we start overthinking things a lot. So let's break it down. Let's talk about what we need to be inviting to and how we can do that. And we want to empower you to get doing that today. We want to make sure that you always have multiple events going on throughout the month that you can be inviting people to. On both of our teams, and in fact, we collaborate a lot on these. We have a monthly Prove It Challenge group that you can be inviting to every single month. There's one going on. Cindy's group has one going on. We just are starting another group in my team tomorrow, and then we all have one starting March 2nd. So engrave March 2nd into your brain because that's when the next one starts. Also, health chats. We have health chats coming up in the next several months to come of highlighting different topics like children's health, sports nutrition, women's health, heart health, always educating about the Prove It Challenge on health chats too. You have the opportunity of doing in-home events. I recommend that you plan one in-home event every single month. Even if one person shows up, 2 people show up, 15 people show up, there is so much power in making sure that you always have something to invite people to. One of the reasons I love in-home events, it does take a little bit of effort, and it's a planning ahead and inviting and organizing, but it provides you the opportunity to get in front of people and just have a good time, right? This business is fun, and the people that we work with are fun, and it's not super serious, and it's a way to build community, build your tribe, and to build trust in relationships. And doing things in home allow you the opportunity to really get to know people on a different level. And so I personally love recommending that you have one in-home event every single month. It could be a youth sip and sample where some people like to set a whole table up and have youth available, where you run through the skincare. Sometimes people just do it on their hand and you sip your favorite beverage. Maybe it's a smoothie workshop where you make smoothies and you have different recipes available and people purchase a certain amount of, they want 7 smoothies that they want to make and they get to leave with 7 smoothies. I know Cindy's done some really cool events where it's swapping soup. Everybody makes a soup and you come with different containers and stuff. There's just so many cool events that you can do, but it allows you to really laugh, get together, build trust, and talk. Facebook events are very powerful as well, being able to allow people to pop in. I like to call those a drop-in event because they're available. They're not threatening at all. People can come check out stuff. And then Zoom webinars are a very effective way of still meeting face-to-face like we're doing right now over different topics. And then as well as the health print. Health print is available to everybody. Everybody who's a distributor has a website, and on your website, when you go directly to your site, health print link is right at the top, and you can invite people to take an assessment that just takes a few minutes, 5 minutes or less, of 20 questions that it will give them a rating for their lifestyle and their nutrition, give recommendations. And that's a great thing because they get an email, you get an email with their results, and you're able to get in touch with them over the phone or Messenger and go over the results with them and answer questions, help them get started on a product pack. Today, we're going to really be focusing on the concept of 3-way calling and messaging, and we're going to go over that in detail and get you into action. However, one of the things that is so important is to make sure that you are creating meaningful lists. Let me make sure. I'm going to minimize this for a second because I want to make sure I'm on my right one. I changed out a few slides. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay, so make sure that you are creating a meaningful list. One way I love to create a meaningful list is to get out a product guide, a catalog, a product catalog, physically holding it. You can also do it through Shaklee.com and checking out the shop section. But I love to create meaningful lists by opening up my product guide, and I like to get either a little piece of paper that I have kind of cut, or Post-it notes are the most ideal. And it's a way to really familiarize yourself with products in the catalog, as well as creating a meaningful list. So here is an activity that we're going to spend the next 10 minutes doing. It is so powerful, and it helps you create a meaningful list, and a list that you are going to then utilize to reach out to people to introduce them and invite them to learn more about a specific product. So here's how it works. You open your product guide and you start kind of just skimming through. You don't need to read every single word, but kind of skimming through, and somebody that you know, I promise you, will pop into your mind. Maybe you're looking at the page about probiotics and you think about your neighbor who was just talking about how she really is struggling with IBS. Maybe you're looking through the sports nutrition and you see the Build product and you're reading about it and you're learning a little bit more about it, and right away you think about your brother who is works out all the time and is trying to maximize his results, and you're learning about how this Recover product is proven to do that. And so you write his name on the Post-it note and you stick it in the page, and then you move on and you keep going through the product guide. I do this still to this day on a regular basis. I like to keep a product guide with me in the car. Sometimes I'm just chilling at home and I like to educate myself on products. The thing about it is, you guys, there are so many products, and you can't know everything there is to know about every product. But this is a cool way to kind of familiarize yourself a little bit and create a meaningful list at the same time, which gives you a list of names of people that you can reach out to saying, I was thinking about you, I was checking out some different products, and I remember what you said about you struggling with your gut health. And I was just reading over this product and was blown away, and immediately I thought of you. Wondered if you might want to check it out and see what it's all about, because it's guaranteed to work and I think it might really help you. And so that's a really cool, authentic way of creating a meaningful list directly related to a specific need and product and connecting with somebody. So for the next 10 minutes, if you have a catalog available, a product catalog, have that out. If you don't have one available, just get on Shaklee.com and go in this shop section, and you can pull up different product categories, and you can just jot down on a notebook and create a meaningful list. In the next 10 minutes, try to write down 10 names in the next 10 minutes directly related to a product and somebody that popped into your mind. I'm going to set the timer, and you have 10 minutes to make a meaningful list through the catalog. Go. 5 more minutes. All right, we're gonna wrap things up with about 1 minute left to go. All right. Okay, so in the chat, comment below, even if you didn't get 10, some of you might be overachievers and did more than 10, which, you know, we love you. Put in the chat how many people that you created a meaningful list for that has a product or a product category attached to it. Just put a number in the chat, whether it's 3, whether it's 10, whether it's 20. We want to see that you are in action. So go ahead and add that to the chat. Awesome. Look at all those numbers. That's so, so great. And I love these meaningful lists because when you feel paralyzed and you don't know who to reach out to and what to say and what to talk to them about, here's the things, guys. You have, look at you, most of you have at least 5. Some of you have more than that. You now have a list. Lists help you to create meaning behind them. You need to know why you're reaching out to somebody. When you get struck in fear and don't know what to say and second guess yourself and talk yourself out of reaching out because heaven forbid they might be offended that you thought about them. Here's the thing. You now have a list of meaningful things for you to reach out to these people. And it would be pointless for me to help you create a list and not ask you to actually go do it right now, right? So I want you to pick one person off of your list that you wrote down. This is where it gets fun. Everybody's in oh crap mode. Okay, do not overthink it. Listen to me now. Pick one person. Pick the person who you think likes you the most and isn't gonna be offended. I'm just kidding. Pick somebody on your list and keep it simple and be authentic. Here's what you say. Hey, Jordan, I'm doing it with you. It's my neighbor that I have no excuse of not talked to yet, but he intimidates me. So here's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna text him and I'm gonna say, hey, Jordan, I hope you're having a great weekend. Listen, I was going through a bunch of products that I was learning about, and I know that you were talking about how your joints were hurting you from running so often. Right away, I thought about you when I saw this cool product that's guaranteed to work, all natural, plant-based. Wondered if you would want to check it out. I really think it might be what you're looking for. Period. Something like that. Okay, be authentic. You were looking at products and you saw this and you thought of him right away. And you can even just say, I thought about you. I was learning about this product and I think it might be something that would help you. Would you want me to send you information? Period. Okay, question mark. Better do a question mark, not a period. End in a question directly. Okay, one person, I'm giving you literally 2 minutes to do it, so don't overthink it. Send the message, send the text, whatever the best way is to communicate. Go. When you are done, put done in the chat. Got about 30 more seconds. Remember, don't overthink it. You're just inviting them to check something out. Awesome. Look at all those people with done. That is fantastic. Fantastic. Awesome. If you're finishing up, that is totally fine. I love that all of you went for it and you got into action right away. This is such a simple thing and something that we overthink on a regular basis. I promise you this, people love to be thought of. And when you're being very genuine about what you say to people and why you're reaching out to them, they are never going to be offended and they are always going to walk away being happy that someone thought that you would take time to reach out to them with something. So you might be thinking, what do I do next? When they say yes, That's what you should be thinking, because they are going to say yes. They would love to check out something that came to your mind that you'd like to send them information about. Send them information. But before I send them information, I'm going to say, awesome, I'm going to send you a video about it, or I'm going to send you a link about it, whatever, the best resource is. I want to encourage you to check out Shaklee.tv, as well as the tools page on your business site on Shaklee.com, with tons of resources availability. And don't underestimate the power of Google Images too. There's a lot of great stuff out there in Google from Shaklee, but Shaklee, our site, has a lot of great resources. But one thing I like to do is not to just send them information, but I like to continue the conversation and say, so by the way, how have your joints been feeling since we talked? Have you been able to run longer? Still, I should say, have you tried anything? Is anything helping you? Obviously, I let him answer in between, but the goal is just to get a conversation going. We don't just want ask a question, send the info, and then be like, do I reach back out? This is awkward. So instead I want to continue the conversation and just be very approachable and show it's like a hot potato conversation back and forth. And this is with all things, whether you're talking about the business, whether you're talking about the Prove It Challenge, because we have a huge emphasis on Prove It Challenge in this training. We always want to be able to start a conversation and keep it going. And then after I send information to Jordan about the joint health, I'm going to send it to him and say, let's say I send him a 2-minute video. I'm going to say, I'm going to send you a 2-minute video. Do you have time to check it out right now? And he'll say, actually, I'll probably watch it tonight. Say, cool. Would it be okay if I checked back with you tonight? So the key of any invitation is just making sure that you always know the next time you're going to reach out to them, so that the person knows, I'm going to be expecting a conversation or a question or reach out back from this person. That takes the awkward pressure off of you being like, oh, I wonder if they watched it. I don't want to be bugging them. Am I being too pushy? And all the things. You don't need to worry about all the things if you just communicate with that up front. Okay. So let's move on to the next thing here. This is another cool way of creating a meaningful list. This is called finding your pearls. I have done a lot of trainings with my team about this. This is in relation to actually building a team. I find that it is super, super easy to talk about the products, because even early on in my business, I had experienced a lot of benefits from the products, just like you guys listed a whole long list. Each of you at least one thing of products that helped you. So it's easy to talk about the products. But if you're somebody who hasn't really had much success in your business yet, as far as a lot of growth or having people join your team, or you feel like you haven't accomplished very much quite yet, most of you, it's because you're just getting started. Some of you, it's because you just haven't applied consistent daily actions to help you grow your team the right way. And so this is, again, a meaningful list. Oh, create. That makes me mad. I had a typo up there. Sorry about that. Create a meaningful list. We call it finding your pearls. Okay, so picture this. I'm not going to read you this scenario. I'm just going to tell you. Think if there's a bucket of 100 oysters, okay? And I promise you that there are 3 pearls, very, very valuable pearls in that bucket. And you start shucking. You shuck, say, 20 oysters, and you haven't found any pearls yet at all. But I promise you, I guarantee you there's 3 in there. You keep shucking, or do you stop? Well, most people are going to keep going, especially if you're telling me they're in there. So I keep shucking the oysters, and eventually I find 1, and I'm like, yeah! And I'm so excited. It fuels me to keep shucking the oysters. You keep going through. You get all the way down to 80. You've gone through 80 now, and you still haven't found any more. You're not going to stop, because now you only have 20 more to go through to find your 3, right? You get the concept. You are going to just have to understand that in network marketing, it is all about building a team and building a network. This is not just a direct selling company. Like, we are building a network, a community of people, a tribe of people, like-minded people who you help, and in return, as you are helping them and they're blessed, it blesses you also, and so on with all the other people who are on your team as well. And so we want to make sure that you are creating a list, a meaningful list of names that you want to be directly reaching out to take a look. to just take a look at this business. And so with the concept or the analogy of the oysters, we want to know what we're looking for because we know that the pearls are there. Pearls meaning our people, these awesome people that we want to link arms and partner with. So we're going to create, some of you have already created a list of 30 to 50 names. Some of you maybe haven't done that yet for today specifically, but we all have lists probably sitting in different drawers and notebooks and journals. And so here's what I would like you to do. We're going to go through and create a meaningful list of names. If you're creating a list right now in this moment, try to get 10 names down that come to mind. Don't overthink it. Don't assume, you know what they say about assuming, that you don't know where people stand, and you know that people have been checking you out, watching what you're doing. Maybe people have no idea that you've started your own wellness business, okay? That's okay. I want you to create a list of names. And these names, on this list of names, we are going to identify who our pearls are. This is an activity that you may get through with right now and you may not. That's okay. We're going to just kind of start it so you see the concept. But PEARLS is an acronym which represents positive, somebody who has an entrepreneurial spirit, high achievers, maybe, you know, achievers in anything. Maybe they're a rock star mom. Maybe they are an achiever because they love running marathons and they do well at that. Or maybe they're disciplined in keeping, you know, up with their child's daily activities, whatever. Like achievement doesn't have to be some massive thing. R is for recognition. Someone, they are appreciated and they make a difference in other people's lives. Leaders, others look up to them. Areas of work, church, community. And S stands for successful. Okay, so when you have your list of names of potential people that you would reach out to invite them to just take a look and maybe partner with you, you go through the list and you go down every single person's name and you think to yourself, is this person positive? Are they a positive person? If they're positive, they get a P by their name. You go down the entire list and you give everybody a P who you think is a positive person. Then you start back up at the top and you go to E. Are they self-starters, motivated, want to build something for their future? And you give them an E. Now, keep in mind, you're not going to tell them, I didn't think you were a positive person. I didn't give you a P. You're not going to tell them. This is a way for you to kind of sift through and sort who these top people are that you want to reach out to first. So you go through every letter. The people with you might have some people that have all 6 letters. They might be a pearl. Those are the people that are going to be high on your list that you want to reach out to right away. Then you move down to the people with 5 letters, 4 letters. Now keep in mind, some of my best builders, I've discovered they didn't have all 6 letters when I reached out to them. And so don't prejudge if you reach out to somebody with only a couple letters, because this is you and your opinion about them. You might not even know them super well. So an activity that we're going to do right now, is to, if you haven't created a list yet, write down some names of people that you've been wanting to reach out to, or people, family members, close friends. If you could partner with anybody, who would it be? And Cindy's going to talk more about that later of who's your ideal client, which will all play into this, which is why I don't want you to spend too much time on this activity, but I do want you to complete it at some point because it's a powerful piece to know who you want to reach out to and who you're looking for. So create a list, if you haven't already, of some names. And then those of you that have a list, start going through and giving them these letters. Start with the P, go down to the E, all the way to the S. And let's discover if you have some pearls already on your list and who you're going to be reaching out to first. Ready and go. I'm going to be giving you about 5 minutes or so, or 7 minutes actually. I'm going to give you 7 minutes because like I said, I don't need you to complete this right this second. I just want you to get in action as to creating a meaningful list of potential business partners. As you're creating your list and you're writing these letters down next to people, I want to just point out a couple of things. If you are just sitting there just trying to think of names and people that you might want to reach out to off the top of your head, that sometimes is like, if your brain's not working right, you're not going to be able to do that. So let me just give you some advice. Go through your friends on Facebook and on social media and just scroll through. Let them pop off the screen to you. So open up your social media accounts and see who you're friends with on there. And then I promise you, the names will pop off of potential people. Don't assume that they don't want anything to do with it. Just add them to your list, okay? If you're in the list making process. Also going through your phone contacts or your address book, all of those are really great resources to start creating a list. And then you can find your pearls that we're going to be shucking through these oysters to find who is one of our pearls. So just some tips for you if you're still in the list making mode and are having trouble thinking of people. Okay, one more minute. Again, don't feel like you have to get through your whole list on this, but just something to get in action with and to start working on this so you can finish it later. It's super powerful. All right. Okay, in the chat, I would love for you to write down, yes, somebody wrote, will the slides be available? Yes, I'll make this slide deck available in the Facebook virtual retreat Facebook group. If you haven't accepted the invite to that group, make sure you're in there. We'll put all the slides in here so you can see stuff. But I would love for you to, in the comments again, write down a name of somebody that got, you don't even have to say how many letters they got. Just write down a name of a person who you want to reach out to about joining your team. Just their first name is fine. I love seeing all these names pop across. And the cool thing about this is we all have an endless amount of people that we could reach out to, because this is the most powerful thing that we have to offer at Shaklee is truly the opportunity for people to improve their wellness, as well as to add supplemental income to their family. And so we're going to be getting into action today, specifically reaching out to some people, but in a couple of different ways that maybe is different than what you've done in the past. One thing I would encourage you to do is, as you continue through your list of names, and you I personally like to reorganize my list for the top 6, the people who got all 6 letters first, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all the way down. And I want you to find those top 5 people and reach out to your specific business coach, the person that you talk to and get advice from the most. And we're gonna talk to you about that person. Tell me about them. How do you know them? Why would you love them on your team? And we can help you decide what's the best way of reaching out to them and how can I help connect with them. So we want to help you. So don't feel like you're on your own on this, but make sure you finish this as soon as you can, and really determining who are those top 5 people you want to reach out to first. Because again, this is all about building a network and not doing this by yourself. Okay, right now we're going to talk about the power of duplication. Now, this, I don't particularly love scripts, but I do recognize the fact that sometimes you need like a base. You need to know where, what this concept is all about, what might it look like that I say, but then you do you, okay? So don't take words that you see and it not feel or sound like you. You do you, talk the way that you would normally talk and speak, and don't copy and paste this. But we're gonna go through a script, which is just basically a method of how you can reach out to people in a very authentic way that's not asking for a favor, but helping you to complete a training program that you are going through right now, which is true because you are in this virtual retreat right now. So this is something that my team and I focused on a couple of years ago, and we focused hardcore for a couple of months on really connecting people in a 3-way call / message type concept, where the concept is that you are connecting your business coach or someone who can answer questions for you. Maybe it's been a part of Shaklee longer than you have. Doesn't even have to be your specific business coach. Maybe you are on Cindy's team or Dana's team or Laura's team or Hannah's team, and it doesn't matter whose team you are on, you can connect one of your friends with one of us, okay? So point being, even if you're not on my team, I would love to connect with some of your friends and help answer questions for you. So keep that in mind when I talk about that your business coach is going to be the one answering questions. It might be me, and I might not even be your coach, okay? So let me explain this to you, because this is a powerful thing we did a couple of years ago, and my organization grew 10,000 OV in a month. 1 month, we grow 10,000 OV, my organization as a whole, and it was the power of this duplication right here. So first and foremost, you need to think about this. Stick to the plan and the power of duplication, and the plan is what we're about to talk about. Three-way calling slash messaging, it doesn't have to be over the phone, is the best training that you're ever going to receive. Invite, set up an appointment time with an expert. The expert is the person who is going to be answering the questions. And then mute yourself, take notes, and let the expert do the answering for you, okay? So that's the concept, but let me explain what this might look like. I'm going to pretend that I'm reaching out to Bob. Bob. Hi, Bob. It's Crystal. Do you have a quick minute? Most do, but if you ask most do, but if not, ask when you can call back, okay? But this is literally, it's really powerful when you're actually talking to people, but it also works over a message and text too. So you say, hey, do you have a quick minute? I need your help. Again, never ask for a favor because it's an instant turnoff, but I'm really excited to be in a leadership training program right now. You can say something like, I've decided to expand my team or grow my business, or maybe you can say, I started my own wellness business and I'm currently working with a business coach helping me to achieve my first promotion. Whatever it is that feels authentic to you, but basically you're telling them that you're in a training program, and you say, you know, this might not be something that you'd ever consider, but as a part of my training, I need to share a business opportunity with 5 people in the next 7 days. All I would need for you to do is watch a very quick video, write down 3 to 5 questions, preferably 5, that if in a million years this would ever be something that you would consider of owning your own wellness business, what would you need to know? My business coach and I will then meet up with you either on a 3-way conference call. We can do it over text or messenger, whatever is easiest for you. And you'll just ask your questions to my coach, and I'll listen and write down your questions and their responses. This is going to really help me in my training. Is there any reason why you couldn't help me? I'd appreciate it so much. Again, word that however you want. I'm usually not as wordy as that, but I like to give a lot of different examples of how you can explain what you need. And then I like to always mention, people usually say yes, like they're willing to help you. You're not asking them to join your team. You're asking them to take a look. Like, would you be willing? This may or may not be for you. However, it's going to help me complete my training. Would you watch a short video? And then write down some questions and connect with my trainer and I so I can hear and learn how the responses go. And then I always like to tell them, like, look, she asked me to make a list of people who I'd love to partner with, and you were on the list. Like, if nothing else, when you reach out to them, let them walk away being like, huh, she chose me, right? Like, affirm people. Let them feel good about themselves. Maybe they're like, heck no, don't want to help you. Like, nobody says that. I promise you. Like, I've never had anybody be like, no, I'm not going to help you. But here's the thing. I like to affirm them and say, just take it as a compliment, because if you were to ever say yes as to wanting to partner with me, like, I would be so thrilled to work with you. You were on my list. And then you can either give them some specific times that you know you have available if you're going to connect on the phone. Or you can say, what's a time that would work for you this week to connect on the phone? Again, talking on the phone on a 3-way conference call, which might just take like a 15-minute conversation, that's my top choice. It is my top choice because, again, it is like face-to-face is the most powerful. Over the phone or Zoom webinar is next, and then over Messenger's text is like the last best way. But the goal of this, again, you're going to invite them to check it out to help you complete your training. 5 people in 7 days. You're going to set the appointment time. If you just get them to say yes and you don't have a time and date set up that you're actually connecting with the third person, then it's a wash. It doesn't count as one of your 5 and 7 days. Okay. So make sure that you set the appointment time. Now, Cindy and I have some killer prizes that we're going to be giving away, and we're giving away several for this portion right here. Okay. So first and foremost, this might be a concept that some of you have never done. This might be a concept that some of you have grown your business from, like me. This is how I became a director in my first 90 days, and this is what I did. And it worked. It was awesome, and it was authentic, and it was fun, and I learned so much. So I am going to allow you the opportunity before we get into action and actually reach out and do some of this. I want to give you the opportunity to ask any questions that you might have in regards to this, of how you know, anything about it. If there's something you don't quite grasp, now's your chance to ask any questions. Just make sure you unmute yourself, and I'm happy to answer. Any questions at all? Again, very simple. Know what you're doing. You're either calling them. Do you have a quick minute? You can even say, if you call somebody, which again, that's my top, that's like put on your big girl panties, right? When you have to actually call somebody and talk to them, like heaven forbid it's 2020 and we call somebody. But I'm telling you, it's the most effective way, period. But if you want to text or reach out over Messenger, because some people, it would be weird if you called them, like that's true too. Just don't be a chicken, right? If you have their number and you know you can call them right now, put on your big girl panties and do it. But remember, the concept is stick to the plan. Invite them to check it out. Say you need them to answer 5 or write down 3 to 5 questions after they write it. After they watch it. You're going to connect with your coach who's going to be doing the question answering, and you're just going to listen and learn. And the key to make it count is that you get a date and time. Here's what I promise you. If you have a date and time that you set, somebody, whether it's Cindy or me or Dana or Tiffany or whoever, anybody who's capable of answering these questions who are on either of our teams, I will find somebody who's available for you, period. You don't have to worry if I'm available. I'm available. Cindy's available. Laura's available. Dana's available. We will find somebody. So the point is, set the time. When's a good time that you would have available to connect on a 3-way call for my business coach? I avoid upline. I don't like that name because it just, sometimes people are like, what's an upline? And so I like to say business coach. You get the date and the time for 3 people. 3 people right now. And you're going to have time to do that. And anybody who even has one person that you get a date and time that you're going to connect with your business coach, you're going to get a chance to win some awesome prizes. So Cindy and I have some good ones to give away. Any questions before you get going?
I just want to add something, Crystal. So
yeah.
Christy asked the question, doing a 3-way call with a business leader and myself seems like a lot to start off with. And so basically I feel like, so Christy's been in the business, right? And so I feel like this is really awesome for people that are just getting started, but also because we're doing this training, it's a very specific training. I feel like somebody like Christy could say the similar thing, like, listen, I'm doing this really cool training right now, and the same kind of scripting or same process as what Crystal just went through, I think would be a great avenue for you to be able to do this. And I just want to also add that I've been asked to be a part of direct or network marketing for years. And I've never been offended by anybody that's asked me to be a part of their network marketing. I mean, I've had Tupperware, Pampered Chef,
right.
Beauty Counter. I mean, all of them, because I love using their products, but it's never been what I was super passionate about wanting to make a business until Shaklee came into my life. So, but I've never looked at the person who's asked me to be a part of one of those businesses. I was like, oh my God, she asked me to be a part of our business. I was like so honored, honestly. And I was like seriously honored and really grateful that they actually considered to have me, as this is a very personal ask, So I really want you guys to realize that when people, and I actually pulled up my big girl pants last month during our Join Free, and I asked 3 people that have never even used a Shaklee product to join my team. And all 3 are considering right now. They didn't join last month, but I had coffee yesterday. I've got other, and one's moving, another one is getting through a training program. So it wasn't no, it was, wow, cool. I love what your team does. Not yet. So planting those seeds is really important. So I don't want you guys to kind of freak out. Okay, so what else we got here?
Yep, Hannah I answered her. She said, what are we doing in our work time right now? You're specifically reaching out with this script. Again, I hate that it's a script, but it's a guideline for you to reach out and legit say, just like Cindy said, I'm going through this awesome training right now as we speak, and I need to connect with 5 people in the next 7 days. Today, your goal is to connect with 3 people during this time, this reach out time. If you're doing it over Messenger, I would suggest that you're reaching out to somebody who you actually see is online. But the thing about this is you might not get responses back from people right now if you're texting and messaging, but they are going to respond at some point. And so it's going to be an ongoing conversation that you're going to have. People are wondering what should they send? So there's a lot of different avenues of what you can send, but since we have such a huge focus on the Prove It Challenge, Cindy and I think that it would be great for you to send the opportunity video. We can put it in the link here for the Prove It Challenge. What that's going to do, it's going to talk about the business, but it's also going to talk about the Prove It Challenge. So if the business isn't for people will be like, what's this Prove It Challenge that you're even talking about? So the goal is that business partner, but it might possibly land you somebody who wants to join the Prove It Challenge too. So that's what usually happens. People start asking questions and it becomes personal for them. So that's what you're going to do in the work time, which is why I do suggest if you can call them, if it's possible, call. Some of these people you might not hear back from if you message. And if you are messaging and texting, you might need to do more people than, 3 so that you actually can have a conversation. Remember, the goal is to get a date and time, not just to reach out and hear back from them, but to set a time of when you're going to connect with your business coach. And you don't have to ask us if we're available. We will be. Somebody will be. Okay? Cindy, anything else?
No, I mean, you could always, to not catch people off guard, is you could send a text and then follow up with a call or a voice, like a the voice text feature where they actually hear your voice. Hey, Crystal, it's Cindy. Listen, I had this amazing training yesterday. I texted you about this 3-way call for my training. Is it something that you would consider? I'd love for you to answer those 5 questions. Anyway, something like that. But you can always follow up like that or shoot them a call. Most people don't ever pick up their phone these days. So you can always leave a voicemail as well. So there's always ways. I like to hit it off where I kind of, instead of just calling, like I will go ahead and text or message, but then I always follow up with a call or a voice over text or a voice over message. Mm-hmm. Or when I see them at the gym or at church or whatever, I'll be like, hey, did you get my text? They're like, I did. Oh my gosh, I've been so busy. So I don't have any problem saying, hey, did you get my text? Because I mean, it's a pretty simple question. And then they're like, yeah, tell me more about that. Or yeah, oh my gosh, So that would be it too. And then Michelle did ask, so once you connect and complete the 3-way call, how do you follow up? So you always follow up with a question. You kind of leave it open-ended, and and if it's not for them, then maybe they know somebody that it is for, right? So that's always an opportunity too to say, if they're like, yeah, it sounds amazing, I just don't have the time, with this and that going on, to say, okay, that's kind of how I felt too. I just love sharing health so much that I just made it a priority, and it made it, part of woven into what I do every day. Well, do you know anybody else that might be a good fit for our team? And after having talked with your upline and then asking the questions and getting the answers, I mean, they're going to feel pretty good. And then they can say, yeah, I do. Actually, my cousin is totally looking for a new job. She wants to stay home with her baby. We just had this conversation last weekend. So let me connect you guys, because she loves health. She's getting into smoothies and doing all this cool stuff, and who knows? So that would be it. And then, oh yeah, I do see someone said Marco Polo's good. I like to use Voxer. The thing with those is that not everybody has those apps. So the thing is that the people that they either need to have the app downloaded. So Marco Polo and Voxer are both voice over, kind of like walkie-talkie apps where you can do group chatting and or one-on-one chatting. So, but those are, I love Voxer, and Marco Polo is exactly the same, just a different app. Any other questions? Anything you want to add, Crystal?
No, I think that's all perfect. The only other thing is that before you send the video, to help eliminate the like awkward, did they watch it? Did they not watch it? Do I respond to them now? Am I bugging them? All the overthink. Try to set that date and time of when they're available, which that's why I like to say, when do you think you could connect? Do you have time this week where we could hop on a call for 15 minutes and my coach could answer your questions? They're like, yeah, I'm actually off on Mondays in the morning. Perfect. How about 9 o'clock on Monday? Great. Okay, how do you want me to send the video to your phone, to Facebook? How do you want me to send it? So set the date and time before you send the video, because then you know exactly when you're going to connect with them. Maybe over the phone doesn't work. They're like, I'm really busy this week. No worries. Do you want to connect over Messenger? But I don't like to give them that option first, because everybody's going to take that option. If you can talk on the phone, I promise you, it's just going to be so authentic and so great. And it's not with me answering the questions. I promise you, every single person that's ever got off the phone with me during this process of this like power of duplication, nobody ever leaves being like, ugh, man, she shoved all that down my throat. It just was never like that. It was never like that. They were like, wow, this was great. Thanks. Good luck in everything that you're doing. And I'm telling you what, so many of these people join our team down the road, or join the challenge, or it's just a way of building relationships again. And oftentimes they watch this video about, this, and before you know it, they're like, you know what? I've actually been dealing with a lot of immune issues this year. Do you guys have anything for that? And so what might start as like a conversation about business and prove it might lead to an immunity question. So it's just super cool. The conversations brew, but it all starts with you reaching out, inviting, and getting a date and time set with people to connect with an expert. And the cool thing for all of you who aren't the expert, sometimes I'm not the expert too. Like I get to be that role where I might connect my people to Cindy. People ask all the time, like, why do you not just answer the questions yourself? Like, you're capable. You're capable of, and I am capable of answering every question myself. But in a lot of cases, the power of this duplication is modeling for this person I'm connecting with that we have a whole team of people and resources. So I don't want that person to hear me answering every question, thinking when they join my team, they have to know it all and they have to answer every question. I want them to see, wow, they have a leader who's willing to partner and link arms with me. A lot of people who've joined these businesses and have bad taste in their mouth, it's because somebody slapped them on the butt after they signed up and said, good luck, and they didn't support them. And so that's the power of duplication, is because these three-way conversations are modeling for this friend that you have support. And I'm gonna do the dirty work for you. I'm gonna help you. So get at it right now. After you have set a date and a time, and even if you get one, the moment you get a date and time from somebody, or you've reached out to X amount of people, just keep communicating in the chat, because it's encouraging to everybody else. And as you're communicating in the chat, Cindy and I are going to just randomly be giving some prizes away. Oh, yes, it's prizes. We love prizes. So I'm going to set a timer here. I'm going to give you 10 minutes. 10 minutes right now to be working through this. And this is going to be really powerful. You guys are going to be really, really impressed as to how much you learn listening in on these calls or messages. And it just feels good to be in action, not just to learn stuff, but actually do it. So 10 minutes. I'm going to keep watching the chat too for any questions that you have, or you can unmute and ask. It's fine too. Oh yeah. Let me put the... I'm going to add I'll put that back up in just a second. I'm going to make sure you guys all have, and there's no wrong video to send, but I like the new video. Yeah, the success video, the Prove It Challenge success video is a great one. I've also sent in the past, I've had my team send a webinar that I have recorded. It's longer though. The nice thing about this one is it's like less than 4 minutes. Look at Hannah Warner on the phone. Is Hannah talking on the phone to somebody? Look, she's gagging. You go, girl. Oh, like a proud mama bear over here. Hannah Warner. Everybody remember that name. This chick is going places. Here is, I put in the chat. Oh, good, it hyperlinked it. So this is the Prove It Challenge success video that you can send people. Like I said, it's less than 4 minutes, which is appealing to anyone you're reaching out to. Like I said, I've also had, in the past, we send an opportunity video that kind of gives a bigger overview of Shaklee, but we're gonna give it a go with this video. I've never done this one with this type of duplication 3-way challenge. So we'll see how it goes. I think it's gonna be super effective for you guys. I'm gonna share that slide again, so no worries there in case you need it. Awesome. People are sending some text out, making some phone calls. Make sure you add in the chat if you get a date and time set. Got some fun prizes. How's it going, everybody? Awesome. People are sending out some messages. Kim, woohoo! No way, 6:30. She's got an appointment set at 6:30 with Tanya. Awesome stuff. Carrie reached out to 3 people so far. That is awesome. Now keep in mind, again, some of these within this 10 minutes, because we don't have a lot of time left in this 10 minutes, you're not going to necessarily get, you might not get the date and time. So in the 10-minute time frame, this is going to be maybe something that you finalize tonight, or maybe you hear back from them tomorrow and you get that date and time set. Remember, make sure that you set the date and time before you send them the video so you know when to follow up and how to connect with them. We got just a couple more minutes in this portion of it, and in our Facebook group, we're going to be giving away prizes too, as people are completing stuff, and we're going to be cheering each other on throughout the rest of this month and equipping you and giving you some great incentives along the way. But Kim, I wanted to let you know, for getting the first one to get an actual date and time sent, I have this cute little pouch for you that is Shaklee branded that says, "You glow, girl." And inside of it are little silver Shaklee leaf earrings. Super cute. So I'm going to be mailing you this fun little goodie bag with the fun earrings and the "You Glow, Girl" Shaklee branded. So I'm going to put your name on this. You can message me your address so I can pop this in the mail to you. So congratulations on getting this fun little prize. And we have a bunch of other stuff to give away throughout this training and training to come. About 1 more minute right now, because we have a lot of cool stuff coming about social media. I keep adding to the chats. Any wins, whether you reached out to one person, you heard back from somebody, maybe you are in conversation with somebody right now over text or message or Marco Polo or Voxer, whatever form of communicating you are doing. Let us know that in the chat, because we want to celebrate you and reward you as well. And that is our time for this portion of it. Like I said, keep doing it though. Keep the conversation going. We are so excited that you are in action and that you are reaching out to people. The power of duplication. Any goals that you have for your business, for yourself, for your income level, it all starts with being willing to take the first step. You need 3 seconds of courage. That's what I always tell people. 3 seconds of courage, and you can connect with people and invite them to learn more. Remember, you're not asking for their firstborn child or to chop off their right arm. You're just inviting them to check something out. So don't overthink it too much, but congratulations to Kim for getting the first prize. Add other comments in here and let us know some other stuff that you guys got accomplished in that 10 minutes. Even if you haven't heard back from anybody, Stephanie reached out to 7 people, so she's probably going to be pretty busy setting up dates and times with those people. That's amazing. So add that in the comments. And then we're 6 reach outs and 1 set up for this week. Woo-hoo! Way to go, Hannah. That is amazing. Oh my goodness, this is good stuff. Good stuff. So remember, when you do get the date and time set, a time that's good for your reach out, a time that's good for you, reach out to your business coach and let them know what time it is. If it doesn't work for them, we will make sure we find somebody that will hop on that call or message or whatever for you, okay? So set the date and time. That's the goal. Set the date and time. And that is a challenge, to set the date and time, 5 people in the next 7 days. So by next Sunday, we want you to have reached out and connected with 5 people to check it out, okay? So that's like a homework, so to speak, from this retreat. That is one of our top goals, is that you get connected to 5 people this week. Don't set the date and time for the next week, but get them set in time, date and time for this week. So you have a whole week, okay? And we want you to tell us about that in the virtual retreat page. So congratulations. That is amazing. We have more prizes that we're going to give away to you guys as you keep sharing with this topic. But let's move on to the next thing. Okay, we're going to do more inviting. This is going to be a quick, I'm only going to give about 5 minutes to this portion of it, because it's very short and sweet, and you might not actually hear back from people. But we are doing a huge emphasis on the Prove It Challenge. I keep saying that because I want to make sure you know. The Prove It Challenge is our focus. Here is, again, this, not necessarily, I don't need you to use this exact script, but I know people get paralyzed. Man, my lighting is terrible. Not complaining that the sun is beaming on me right now, because we haven't seen the sun in like a week in Ohio. But this is something that you can do to reach out to people, to invite them to the Prove It Challenge. Here's what it might look like. This is a very simple conversation that is really effective over Messenger or texting. For somebody that I haven't connected with in a while on social media, sometimes it might be weird to just, flat out reach out to them and do a direct invite. So you kind of have to be the judge if you need to connect with them a little bit before you ask. But sometimes it's really nice to just cut to the chase, because you don't want people to think you aren't authentic because you were chit-chatty. And then you're like, oh, by the way, this is why I was reaching out to you. So don't overthink it too much. If you feel like, I haven't even talked to this person, say, hey, I was thinking about you and wondered, would you want to take the Prove It Challenge with me? This usually results in somebody saying back, maybe, like, what's the Prove It Challenge? And you can use a verbiage that is below that is simple like this, or you can condense it way down and barely say anything at all. But here's some of what you could say. It's a 30-day lifestyle challenge where I lead a group of accountability and health coaching. We focus on nutrition, reset our system through an amazing 7-day Jumpstart program. And it continues through 30 days. You could leave it at that. You might say, we continue to introduce new food groups back to our daily food intake. We learn a lot about our bodies. Everybody that I've ever helped has had success when they follow the program. Do you want me to send you a minute video to check out more? I always end with a question because I want people to have to answer me. And then I send the 50-second Prove It Challenge video. It's all about utilizing the tools that Shaklee has available for us. And you can find that in Shaklee.tv as well. It's 50 seconds. There's also a really good one. Sometimes when I'm reaching out to somebody who is really into wellness and really knows their stuff and is really critical of ingredients, and they're just very mindful, I actually like to send the video that's a little bit longer, and it's the science around the Prove It Challenge, because it really breaks down even more detail about Vitalizer and what's in the shake and what we do and the clinical studies behind it. So I actually send that one a lot, the science behind the Prove It Challenge. But you can pick and choose which one you want to send. But you start with just a simple invite. Would you want to take the Prove It Challenge with me? Maybe you say, there's a group of us getting ready to do a Prove It Challenge on March 2nd. Thought of you, wondered if you might want to take the challenge with us. Simple invite. The reply back can be similar to what you see here. It can be much more shorter than that. It can be you do you, okay? Always remember that. You do what feels authentic to you, but end with a question. Would you like me to send you a video that explains more? You send it. Maybe on the right side of the screen you see, maybe this is somebody that you reach out to who's like still on your list, who's never taken the plunge. Like, I have a very long list of these people that it wasn't a good time for them, and maybe they just didn't get. Some people give you a hard no, like, nope, never would want to do it. I don't really care. I've got a handful of those people, but most people, it's just not a good time for them. I'm so busy right now, or I this or that. Everybody's got a reason. until they give me a hard heck no, then they stay on my list. And so I reach back out to them and I say, hey Sarah, I know when we chatted last time about the Prove It Challenge, it wasn't good timing for you to join us. Want to let you know our next one starts March 2nd, but honestly, you can start anytime. I always give them that, like, you don't have to be available on March 2nd. Would you like to join us for this next challenge? Okay, so you've got countless people that you've already reached out to. Reach out to them again. Make sure they know the next group that's starting. So I am going to give just 4 minutes, because we got a lot to cover for social media that my girl Cindy's gonna cover, and it's gonna be awesome. So I'm gonna give you 4 minutes, because this does not take hardly any time at all, with the easy invite for a first invite or previously invited. The wording is right here. See how many people you can send this message to. Some people are never gonna respond back to you. A lot of people will, and you're gonna get this conversation started. The cool thing about all of this inviting, because obviously this retreat, we have a huge portion on inviting specific products, business, Prove It Challenge. You've been inviting a lot today. That's when your business gets really fun. When you start having all these different conversations and all these different plates spinning, it creates this really cool funnel of people that eventually people start spitting out the bottom, who become new members and new distributors. So 4 minutes. I'm going to start the timer right now. Let's invite to the Prove It Challenge. Our next group is March 2nd. So get to inviting to that. And after the 4 minutes, I'm going to be randomly giving away 3 prizes to anybody that's commenting of what you accomplished in the next 4 minutes. I'll randomly draw who wins. So we'll give away 3 prizes between Cindy and I. And not for the person that got the most, but just that you commented and you were inviting, okay? I'm gonna start the timer, ready and go. 4 minutes. I will put the links to the 2 videos that I like. You can pick and choose, but I'm gonna put those in the chat so you'll have them. They're also on Shaklee.tv, but I'll put them in the chat while you're working. Trudy has one person who wants to join the March 2nd Prove It Challenge group. Woohoo! That's awesome. Way to go, Trudy. Have one more minute to do your invites. I personally got a response back for my neighbor and just sent the video. So that'd be super cool if he joins. Okay, Tanya says, meeting next Thursday with a prospect that I contacted earlier in this retreat during the first reach out. That's the cool thing about this, because there's so many things that are just going to be a ripple effect from the actions that you're doing now. Kelly messaged 10 people about the Prove It Challenge she invited. That is amazing. So she's going to be getting some responses back. Hannah is currently on the phone and she is smiling. I wonder who she's talking to. This is awesome. Great action, people. I love it, love it, love it. Make sure that you add in the comments how many people that you invited to check out the Prove It Challenge, because I'm gonna give you time to put that in the comments. We're gonna move on, but I'm gonna give you time to do that, and then I'm gonna scroll back and be writing down your names of everybody who commented that they invited, even just one person. That was one more than you did before this retreat. So make sure that you comment so I can write your name down, and then we're going to be giving away 3 prizes for this portion of the inviting. This is going to be a powerful event for you guys, just based upon the action that you're doing. It is so, so awesome. Stephanie invited 4 to try the Prove It Challenge. Christy invited 3 people. 1 is watching the Shaklee Science video. Woohoo! That is amazing. So much power. Guys, think of the ripple effect that's happening right now. Dana invited 3 people to do the Prove It Challenge. And keep in mind, there's so many different ways of inviting people. It doesn't have to just be so short and sweet. You might need to be building a relationship with them a little bit longer before you invite them. Meaning you might need to be asking them more questions and whatever. You get the idea, but the point is just to get into action and directly ask them to join you. People need invited so that they can give you an answer. So I'm going to be writing these down. You can keep adding that to the chat, like I said, but we're going to move forward because we have so much good stuff to cover in the last hour of this segment. We're going to be quickly going over a couple more portions of the daily high 5, because remember, going back to the daily high 5, we're doing invites every day. You decide though how many invites you're going to do every single day. Follow up, that's what we're going to talk about briefly. Social media posts, and he's going to cover a lot of cool stuff on social media. Personal development and making good connections. Cindy's going to be talking about that too. But I just want to emphasize this slide right here. We're not going to go over necessarily the picture that I have posted there a lot right now, because we've talked a lot about inviting too, but I want you to make sure that you are just fully equipped and have a confidence and belief behind what you're inviting people to when you talk about this Shaklee business opportunity and finding business partners to join you. First of all, it's a lot more fun to do it with people. Having a tribe and a community of people, it is fun, and people they long to be a part of something that's bigger than them. And just some people just feel so isolated, and maybe they have a ton of friends but don't really feel connected or close to anybody. And I've made some of the best friends in my life because of my Shaklee business. Cindy and I, we would never know each other, and we talk on a daily basis, on a regular basis, and it's so cool how God connects you to different people in this business. And one of our heart's desires, Cindy and I, by collaborating on this retreat and by having the Facebook group with both of our teams in there, is that you guys start collaborating together too, that you make sure that you're following everybody. I want to recommend that you look at everybody who's included in that Facebook group, the virtual retreat, and if you're not friends with them on social media, that you friend each other, and that you comment on each other's posts, and you encourage each other, and we become a really cool force to be reckoned with, and people see that energy and they want to be a part of it. So I want to make sure before we go, I'm going to have everybody take a picture. You can do yourself in it with the computer behind you. You can take a screenshot of everybody like on your screen. But the powerful part of social media, and I wanted to make sure that we did this, so that's why I'm doing it right now. You need to make sure that you are leveraging everything that has to do with your lifestyle and your business and just living your life out loud. And so this is going to be a really cool way of leveraging the power of our community and our tribe, because people want to be a part of that. So I'm going to make my screen so that you can see, hopefully it looks a little bit, I'm going to stop the share because I personally can't see everybody. And I want to be able to take a picture where I can see everybody's face. So if you are available to start your video and you want your face to be shown, everybody's poofing the hair. You'll be like micro size. But if you want to turn your video on just for the picture, that is great, because everybody can, we're all going to be holding up our phones. That's what's going to be funny. But if you want to take yourself in it with your computer behind you, whatever. I'm just going to take a picture of the screen really quickly, because I'm going to leverage this and use it in my social media. Okay.
Crystal, this is actually going to be one of our action items.
I know, this is perfect. It's like we planned it.
Yeah.
I got terrible lighting. Trying to get me and you. So fun. Okay. So as we are, let me share my screen again, actually. Okay. So talking a little bit more in detail about the Shaklee opportunity, we're going to be talking about that a little bit more in social media and how you implement that into what you're posting in social. But everything that we just invited to in regards to the business is all about giving people a sneak peek. It doesn't even have to be a specific event, a Zoom event or a Facebook event or stories that people are following you. You are planting seeds and trickling that in when you're living your life out loud. But I do want to encourage you to make sure that you really do understand what this opportunity is for you. If you haven't sat down recently with your business coach and really talked through that dream plan chart and what the possibilities are, and how do I get the 20K in 2020? How do I earn my first trip? I need a car. I need a new car. How do I do that? You need to be asking those questions to whoever your coach is, and really building a belief and confidence around what makes us Shaklee, what's the opportunity, and get familiar with the products and get familiar with the philosophy. If you haven't read the little book, Philosophy of Dr. Shaklee, it's a very quick, easy read, but it really does build your confidence. Make sure that you're investing in yourself by building confidence behind what this opportunity is for you. One thing that I'm going to touch on very, very quickly is follow-up. And I'm actually just going to go to my own site because I want to make sure that everybody is utilizing the tracking, the follow-up system that Shaklee has available in the back office. Some people are old school and have a paper calendar, and I'm usually a paper type of girl. However, this system is super great because it actually shows you when things are overdue. It shows you when you can actually add people to your follow-up. So these are follow-ups in regards to your daily high five. These are maybe conversations that you've been having with people. That's what I keep on paper. I like to track who I'm talking to and what we've talked about and when we talked last and when I have a meeting set up with them. I personally do like to track that just in my planner because I need a one-stop shop. But for my clients, I like to follow up with them and keep track in my back office. So you simply go to Shaklee.com and you log in and you go to the business tab. You scroll down to see where it says next best actions. This is like your dashboard, your home office online. And you want to scroll down where it says next best actions. And this is where you can add follow-ups. This is where you can go to every morning or whenever you sit down for your time of Shaklee to work. You can sit down and go right to your next best actions and see, who do I need to follow up with? There's going to be things in there listed in there that are, congratulate somebody for their first order, welcome somebody. Maybe somebody placed an auto ship order and it gives you the ability to thank them or email them and let them know, thank you for your order. It's going to be there in 3 to 5 business days. But I like to add in follow-ups for people who I have on the Prove It Challenge. It needs me to, trying to go to my, there we go. Okay. I want to show you exactly what I'm talking about very briefly, because we do have some new faces who are, be helpful if I type in the right thing. We have some new faces who maybe aren't familiar with the site, and the follow-up system is so, so powerful. In the chat, type what kind of follow-up you do. Do you just wing it and try to remember? Be honest, because I do a lot of winging it, and I'm telling you, the fortune is not in winging it. The fortune is having a system and actually following up. Do you use the back office follow-up system? When you log in and you click on the business tab up here, you can scroll down and it's going to give you the next best actions. Okay. And so you have to complete, after you do it, you have to click the drop down arrow and hit complete for them to go away. But you're going to see the next best things that you need to do. Here is the powerful piece. When you have a client who's on the Prove It Challenge, we have a actual chart. I'm going to put the resource of the follow-up chart that in the resources page on the Facebook group. But you want to make sure that you add, I'm telling you, utilize this. So you click add follow-up. Aubrey is a new Prove It Challenge of mine. She just finished her 7-day cleanse. And so I am going to be reaching out with her. In fact, I'm going to do it for tomorrow. You can say, group member check-in. I'm going to say chat about adding protein back into her diet. Save. And it's going to create active follow-ups for me. So then tomorrow when I wake up and I open up what follow-ups I need to do, there it is staring at me. Oh yeah, I need to reach out to Aubrey about adding protein back into her diet. This takes seconds to do, and it's a system. Systems are going to be what help you be successful. So I want to encourage you for the people who are members of yours and who you need to be following up with, the most success that you're going to have in this business is all based around your follow-up. So we've never had a great follow-up system until like the last year. Shaklee implemented this into our site. And so I want to make sure that everybody is aware of where that's at. I was going to do an activity of have you actually add some follow-ups in there, but for the sake of time, and I want to get to some other stuff that's, that more hands-on for Facebook and Instagram and other social media. I'm not going to have you do the activity, but I did want to show you exactly where that was and encourage you to follow up. And we're going to have some cool prizes in the Facebook group along with that as well. So the cool thing about this group and this retreat, it's going to be ongoing accountability, and we're going to keep equipping you and holding you accountable and checking in and seeing. So let me share my screen again for the PowerPoint. Okay. Again, these slides are going to be available for you, so you can screenshot this if you want, but you'll have this list available. One of the other daily high five is personal development. I like to to make sure I get in at least 10 minutes of personal development every single day. When do I do personal development? When I'm folding laundry. I do it, I'm in the car a lot because I'm like a mom taxi. So I listen to it a lot in the car. I also listen to a lot of personal development audiobooks, podcasts, different cool trainings while I'm getting ready in the morning. Sometimes in the shower, sometimes just doing my hair, makeup, whatever. But personal development, we all have time for it, but it's all about making the time, intentionally having time set aside for it. So here's a cool list of books and podcasts that Cindy and I both recommend. Again, this will be available to you in the group. And then, but we also have amazing online tools that I just wanted to remind you that we have available. Shaklee.tv, we've already talked about that some. Shaklee Business Bootcamp, that is a site that we have on Facebook, a group, I should say, that Tracy Fixon and Cindy and I collaborated together. It's a 4-session training to either kick off your business or maybe you want to relaunch your business. These 4 trainings are amazing, and they'll equip you for everything that you need to be successful of getting your starting your business. Also, the Shaklee back office, all the marketing tools, PDFs, again, tools. One way that you could do personal development one day is exploring all the marketing tools that are available under the business tab under tools. And then something that I have available, I pay for this every single month. I don't know if Cindy, if you have these sites or not, we didn't talk about this, but I wanted to make them available to, my team uses them all the time, but I wanted them to make them available for your team as well. The site is betterhealthin31days.com. My site is /kgossett. Those are all health webinars done by Barb Lagoni and Dr. Cheney and just so many gurus of health and science. Really, really well done webinars on every topic that you can imagine. That's a great resource to be able to send to somebody who's, maybe it's about immunity, or maybe it's about women's health, somebody struggling with menopause. The topics are on there, but go to that site, explore, and you can just copy and paste the link and make that a resource that you can send clients who are struggling and really want to learn more. And then also betterfuturestartstoday.com /kgossett. Again, it's free. I pay for it. You use it. Okay. It's business training, and these trainings go back for years and years and years, and they're so good. There's 8 weeks to director training on there. There's how to invite, how to prospect, how to recruit. I mean, you name it, it's on there. It's limitless. I mean, the training is unbelievable. So some of the personal development you do can be from these sites as well. Again, one of the things that I was going to have you do that I'm going to skip for the sake of time as well is visit one of those online sites. So I'm going to do this in the group as well as something for you guys to earn some prizes. To do a little exploring, I'll do a post about this, and you guys are going to be able to explore these online sites or these that I posted below, and find a webinar that you are excited about, or maybe you even watch, and you can put it in the comments and enter to win. So be on the lookout for that post too. And I hope that you love those bottom 2 sites. If you're not familiar with it, they're amazing. You'll love them. Okay, Cindy, I'm going to hand it over to you for our last hour here. She's going to be talking about making connections in social media and how to use the leverage and do it in a really authentic way. She's so good at this, and I'm excited to learn from her today. So, Cindy, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Thank you. And you are amazing. So thank you so much for your leadership today, Crystal. I think I've been getting private messages like, Crystal, you're a rock star. No. So thank you.
Thanks, Cindy.
All right. Are you going to forward my slides?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, guys. So the biggest thing is really about, actually, can you go back to that one, Crystal?
I know, that was a total accident.
That's okay.
Quick on
is to make connections. So it's a big deal to really figure out and to make connections. I really want you guys to understand how important connection making is. So what I do a lot of times is on social media, I do a lot of picture taking, and I kind of document my day, and I will tag people in my pictures. So for instance, for myself, I'm a fitness instructor, and even when I'm not teaching, I'll still take photos with people in other classes that I take at the gym. And I'm like, hey, and Dana also does a really good job of this too. And she doesn't teach, but she's a student. And we just take pictures, and we are so good about tagging people who we're working out with. We tag the instructor for a great class. We'll tag the fitness center that we work out at. And so what you're doing is you're really creating community. And the fitness center, we're as an entrepreneur, it's important to always want to help local businesses, right? And also primarily, female-centered businesses too. For me in particular, I like that as well, just women-owned businesses. So whenever I have an opportunity, I'm going to post about it. People want to know where is a good place to go and what is a good thing to do. So that's really important. So I like to do that, and I don't apologize for it. My spin students every Friday are like, oh my God, another picture. I'm like, you guys love it. Just admit it. Come on, get over here sweaty and all. It doesn't matter. So so I think that's really great. So it also shows what you do on a daily basis. On social media, making connections with other people who you're a fan of. So what you don't want to be doing is spending your time connecting with fellow Shaklee people. It sounds bad, but it's not. And let me tell you why. They're not your future customers, and they're not your future business players, right? You can support them and give them love, but I don't want you to focus on them, okay? I have a public account, so I actually don't accept all the friend requests I get from Shaklee people, but they can still see everything that I do, okay? It's just that I don't have time to keep up with all of them. My time needs to be spent wisely connecting with people who I want to influence to make healthier and, have an opportunity to join my business. So it's really important for you guys to understand that. Don't dwell and take all this time up. It's a time suck to just communicate with all of us in our Shaklee family. Okay. I know we're awesome people, but don't get sucked into that. So different people, like I love to follow Dr. Will Cole. So he wrote the book like The Ketotarian, or someone like all these different like kind of naturopathic health doctors, kind of thought leaders. And what you do is when you follow them on social media, you connect with the people who are connecting with them, because those are like people. Or maybe there's a mover and shaker in your town, and maybe she runs a running club or something like that. So you follow her, and then people comment on hers, and you comment on those people's comments, okay? She may not be your target, right, to join your team, but people who like her are people like you. And so connecting and contact, that way is also an interesting way to kind of make connections. Primarily, a lot of it is on Instagram, but then also on Facebook as well. So, and also it's identifying those people who are actually following your stories. I have identified people that have been following my stories on Instagram and Facebook, and they never like anything that I do, and they never comment on anything I do. But I realized that they are, in a sense, stalking what I do every single day. So clearly they're interested in what I'm doing to some degree. So when there's an opportunity for me to invite them, I'm going to, or I'm going to say, hey, thanks so much for always following my stories. How's it going? I love seeing your name pop up in my feed. And they're like, oh, it's good. Life's good. Oh, you're so inspiring, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, oh, well, good. So how's your health? I mean, I know I talk about health every day. How's that going? And you just connect that way. I'm not going to be like, hey, join the Prove It Challenge if I haven't talked to them in 10 years. But you just strike up a conversation that way. So that's kind of how you make connections. And whether you guys identify 20 minutes of your day, and the biggest thing is going down the dark rabbit hole, right, of just the scroll, but trying to stay very intentional with what you're doing. You're going to go to those thought leaders that have this great, content, and then they have people that are like you that are interested in learning about wellness, right? You're connecting with them. So that's kind of how you start making your connections. But I want to say number one would be stories. I think that is probably the most important area that you should focus on at this point in the game. If social media is not really your strength, and not something that, you've been using, like maximizing, I would say stories are it. When Dana started doing stories, I was like, what is that all about? Oh my gosh, OMT, one more thing. I don't know if I can do one more thing with social media and Shaklee and all that. It's just another thing. And she's like, Cindy, I'm telling you, it's so cool. And now it is actually, I like it more than I like posting, because What it does is you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have perfect pictures. You just talk about your day, and while you talk about your day, you educate as well. Okay, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. And I think it's also important, social events are also important. And so, when you are in a business like this, I mean, I don't like force myself to go to stuff to be like, oh, I got to go somewhere so I can meet somebody for my Shaklee business. No, we all have to like look at our time, and we have to use our time wisely. So my thing would be, you want to go to events and different activities that has similar minded people at them, right? And so those are the types of activities that you go and you meet people at. And it doesn't mean they're gonna be like, hey, you want to join the Prove It Challenge next month? No, you just make a connection. This is for the long haul. Like, we have to look at this as being authentic. And I mean, there's people that I have talked to for years at like my gym, and I'm now just getting around to having a great relationship with them, and we have this continuum, and now I'm asking them if they want to join the Prove It Challenge. So it's just about creating community, creating trust as well. So anyway, so those are some of the things for making connections. All right, Crystal. All right, so we want to create sort of a funnel. We want to create a funnel to be able to have, these people that we can reach out to. So that's where you become a really good listener, right? So for instance, I have a girl in my spin class, her name's Karen, and she was mumbling under her breath about how she can't lose weight and she's just frustrated. And so I listened, right? And so she's been on my list for the Prove It Challenge. She came to my class on Friday. She hasn't been in a while. And she began to tell me that winter's really hard for her. And so basically she deals with seasonal depression. And so I just reached out to her tonight about, hey, and she doesn't get on social a lot. So I actually need to dig up her phone number for a text. I know she'll answer a text versus messenger. And I'm reaching out about the Prove It Challenge. Listen, I know that you may need support and community, but I listened. I heard her mumble about not being able to lose weight. And then I heard her talk about how she's just not happy in the winter. Took her a lot just to get to my class, and I know she doesn't have the energy, right? So I'm listening to these different things, and now she's in my funnel to be able to say, hey, I know you've mentioned before weight loss. I know you've mentioned before you just need probably accountability and more energy. I think the Prove It Challenge would be amazing for you, surrounded with great, positive, healthy-minded people, and kind of go from there. And then ask great questions too. When you're talking to somebody, just say, well, tell me more about that. Okay, well, how does that make you feel? Like, what are your goals? So a lot of times on our team, we ask people when we start talking about the Prove It Challenge, we say, well, they're like, well, yeah, I'll watch a video. Sure. So you watch a video and they're like, okay, well, also what's your like main goal? And I like to kind of offer up some goals. Like, is it more energy? Do you need to sleep better? Are you looking, I don't ever really ask if they need weight loss or anything, because that's such a personal question. But it's like, whatever, do you want to eat more veggies? Like, what's your goal? And I kind of throw out a few things, better digestion. And then I always like to say, because I really want to know kind of if this is even a fit for you. You know what I mean? So some people are like, well, shoot, she's going to decide for me if it's a fit for me. And that's what I like to say about the business too, is like, see if this is even a good fit for you. And then it's just building trust and relationships. And I think when you can show yourself as being as authentic and real in your social media, and just don't be weird to people. Like, this is something that Bob says. He says network marketers are notorious for this. It's like there was this mindset back in the day. It's like, okay, next, right? If someone says no, it's like next. But it's like, no, like, you don't just like disregard them. Okay, fine. Like, they're not maybe part of your funnel at the moment, but they're still great people. You ask them to be a part of something for a reason. So when you see them, don't be weird, right? And I'll even say that in a conversation. I'll even say, hey, I'm not going to be a weirdo if you choose to say no. Like, just trust me on this. And then next time they see me, I'm like, hey, what's up? And like, so just, it's not about you guys. I always want you to remember that it's not you, it's them. They're just not ready. They're not in a good place. Like, it's just not their jam. It's fine. It's not you. So just keep that in mind, and don't lose touch with that person. Just because they don't want to buy your products or they don't want to join your team doesn't mean you don't still like their Facebook post or give them a quick comment, so just don't be weird. And then don't forget to ask for the sale. So a lot of times, I'm just like, hey, do you want to join the Prove It Challenge? And they're like, well, some of them are like, what's that? But most know by now that that's my jam, because I'll hashtag it, talk about it. And then they're like, well, tell me more. I was thinking about that. So that's also, you know, something just to ask for it. You know, I do a lot of training with Bob Heilig, and he says that everybody's like an apple. You got to sort apples. There's red apples, green apples, and rotten apples. And you kind of got to figure out, you know, who's ripe and ready, who's, you know, kind of like, or who's low hanging fruit, who's like ripe, who needs more ripening, like more love and more connection with you, and then who's just a rotten apple, like they're just negative about it. Some people I know personally that I see on a daily basis have literally said, I will never buy from a network marketing company. I will when pigs fly. Like legit said that. And I'm like, hey, whatever. I still take this person's classes. I still give her a high five at class. And that's fine. Like that's something must have happened to her in the past that makes her not want to be a part of anything network marketing. And that is totally fine. I don't treat her any differently than I would a member of mine. Okay, next. All right, so social media. So the biggest thing is you need to ask yourself, who do you want to help? Okay. So when I got started, I was like, oh, moms, I need to help ladies in menopause. I need to help those mamas having babies. Ooh, I need to help those that want to kill a marathon. And I would just like literally just put whatever out there and just, we call it like throwing spaghetti, and like, I cross my fingers, hope it helps, hope it works. What you really need to figure out is who you really want to help. Like who tugs on your heartstrings. Okay. For me, it's the mom that is in the midst of kids in full-time school. You've got middle school drama. You've got, you're constantly an Uber driver, right? You're a taxi driver. So you're constantly driving. It's the balance of, you know, of life and hormones and that. And then also as a mom, I'm 43, going to be 44. So I'm kind of entering that like, okay, I'm not getting any younger. So I'm dealing with like stubborn weight, right? Hormone kind of up and down, all that kind of stuff. And so those are the types of moms that I want to help because they're like me. And typically people you want to help will relate to you. And so it's really important. I feel like a great exercise, and some of you have done this, is doing the avatar assignment. And so we can put that into it's in our boot camp as well. It's in the unit 1, and it's a really great assignment that kind of helps you identify who your target market is. And you actually, when you create this avatar, you actually should name her, okay? Because most of us our avatar is gonna be a woman, because we're all female on this call right now. So it's gonna be a female, your similar age kids, similar age interests, dealing with the same kind of stuff, digestion, inflammation, energy levels, like whatever it is. And for those of you that are having babies, you're talking to mamas who are wanting to get pregnant, dealing with a newborn, sleep deprived, you know, that type of thing. And so that's who your audience, it sounds scary to like really segment who you're talking to, but it's going to work. And the message is going to hit home a lot harder because you're going to have a concise message. So my advice to you would be spend some time doing an avatar and then actually write it out and put it on like your like business like bulletin board. So you can kind of say, all right, speaking to Sally today, she's my girl. And that's, or you actually think about a mom or a friend that you know that you would love to have on the Shaklee products. She hasn't said yes yet. She's probably said not yet. And you'd like speak to her, like legit talk to her, like you're like literally writing this post right to her. So the biggest thing is to really kind of connect with people by creating meaningful, thoughtful, educational content. Okay, that brings about curiosity and in some cases FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. So it's really important to, again, connect by creating, like, again, meaningful, thoughtful, educational content. So don't just say, oh, look at me, I'm sweaty. Oh, look at me, my beautiful lunch. It's like, no, eat your greens. Are you rotating your greens? Are you making your own, you know, did you make your own salad dressing? Here's a quick recipe. Like always offer up something like a gift, right? So whether it's a fact about, you know, vitamin D, or a fact about, you know, sleeping better, or a fact about, you know, why important, like clean protein or eating a plant-based diet is important. Like there's so many things. I love that about our industry, and especially about Shaklee and how many products we have, that we can talk about so many things every single day. And I can literally go through my day with all the things that I use and document that and to be able to talk about it too. So it's just really important for you guys to be grateful that we have this much stuff to talk about. And again, asking yourself, like, am I speaking to the person I want to attract? You know, so like as you're writing this post, again, think about who you want to help, and then ask yourself, you know, am I going to attract the right person with this post? All right, Crystal. All right, so the biggest thing I think in this business is consistency. And when I say consistency, people kind of freeze up and they're like, oh, she wants me to do something every single day. And that's not true, because some of us have full-time jobs. Some of us have, you know, husbands that travel a lot. Some of us have, you know, children that require a lot of our time. So consistency is going to look different for everybody. And so what I want you guys to understand is that your consistency does not look like my consistency. Okay. And there is no comparison. I don't want you guys, oh my gosh, did you see Dana's story today? She had like 50. I only had 1. You know, no, we're not doing that. Okay. We're going to commit to what Crystal, what Hannah, what Tanya wants. Like, what is consistency to you? What will make you feel good at the end of the day or the end of the week when you look at your week in review? Yes, you know what? I did do stories Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Yep, I did do a post on Tuesday and Thursday. Like, and that is great. As long as they're meaningful, they provide content that is educational and creates curiosity and gets people thinking about, maybe I should be doing something different in my life. That's what's important. So I love these quotes. So a lack of consistency can bring about a lack of interest. So the thing that I hear from my peers that do what I do, like they're fitness professionals, or I've talked to other personal trainers, and I've talked to them. I'm like, hey, I wanted to talk to you about this Prove It Challenge, see if your clients would like it. And they're like, yeah, I'm not there right now. Let's talk next year. This was somebody I talked to in the fall. He's like, but I want to say one thing, Cindy. He's like, he's like, there's so many companies, there's so many people selling so many things. What I respect most about you is that you stayed consistent and true to what your mission has always been. And he's like, I really, as a fellow, as a peer, like, I really appreciate that. And when I'm ready to bring something like this into my business, you're going to be the one I go to. Because people already know that Shaklee is an amazing company with great integrity, awesome products, zero recalls ever in 60 plus years. Like, the products, people already know they're great. It's just getting them to trust you to be able to buy from you and then potentially become business builders. And again, success doesn't come from what you do occasionally. It comes from what you do consistently. And that's like anything. If you don't put like time into your marriage, you know, in a consistent basis, it's going to be kind of rocky. If you don't consistently go to the gym, you're not going to crush every class you go to, because you're going to always be playing catch up in your health and your cardiovascular system. If you decide to, diet and everything. So I really feel like, obviously, consistency, we all know, is key in everything, all areas of our life. I love this one. This was one I haven't read before. 6 months of hardcore focus and alignment can put you 5 years ahead in life. Don't underestimate the power of consistency and desire. And that is something that Bob also teaches on, is just give it 6 months. Do something solid for 6 months and see where that gets you. Whether it's a new system you implement, the way you invite, kind of how you schedule out, like, I'm going to do, 2 online events, 1 in-house every other month, like social media, blah, blah, like whatever it is, do it for 6 months, see if it works. So another thing is that consistency is more important than perfection. So many of us are wanting to be, we don't want to be perfect necessarily, but we want to do that perfect post, that perfect video, that perfect reach out. And it's never going to be perfect. And here's the thing, you don't want to look perfect, because people don't want perfect, and people don't feel like they are perfect. And so they have a hard time relating to people who look perfect, right? And that's where getting authentic is so important in how you deliver your message on social and how you even just speak to people as well. And so I think you guys need to really remember that and not to overthink it. I think so many of us overthink like what to share on social media. Like, just share and share from your heart. And I'll get over this too about what was I going to say? Oh, it doesn't matter. All right, next. All right. So authenticity. Okay, here we go. So a lot of times what I want you guys to think about is your story. Okay. And I want you to think about what makes you you, right? What made you decide it was time to get healthier? So for me, I actually go back way before Shaklee when I tell my story, because I did my very first cleanse, like, oh my gosh, I don't know, let's see, Kipton's 10, probably 9 years ago. I did my 8 or 9 years ago, I did my very first cleanse, and it was 21 days. It was super strict, but it was two sisters in Charlotte. Dana jumped on a few times after I'd done it. So I was doing it like on a biannual basis. And I started bringing people with me. Like I'd say, hey, let's prep together for this cleanse. And then Shaklee came into my life like 3 years later. So I go way back to that. There was a reason why I chose to cleanse with this group of women. You know, and I have my own, you know, digestion been a big issue of mine all my life. And so that was something that I did. And I talk about that. And it's okay to say your time before Shaklee. It doesn't have to be, it shouldn't always be about Shaklee. So what made you decide to get healthier? Number one, maybe you guys had a health scare. Maybe it's your husband had a health scare, or your dad had a health scare, and now you want to be able to, you know, live a longer, healthier life. What was it that led you to say yes to Shaklee? Was it the person that invited you? Think back to that. Think back to who brought you here. What did they say to you? What was the story that they told? You know, and that's going to be similar to the people that you want to attract. It's the same thing. What did they do? What were their actions, right? Why did you say yes to the cleanse? Okay, so probably all of us on this call have done at least the 7-day cleanse. That's been around a while, or the Prove It Challenge. So why did you choose? Yeah, it's time. You know, I had a heck of a summer. It was time to cleanse. Or wow, holidays really took me over the edge. You know, whatever it is, but that's you, and like a million other people had that same reason. But you need to talk about it. It can't just be join me for the cleanse. Let's do the cleanse. Eat more plants because it's better for you. No, you eat more plants because, you know, you have gotten away from prepping your veggies on the weekends, and so now you're just grabbing that quick bag of chips, or you're grabbing the quick snacks. So I always say stories sell. Okay, so people don't buy your goods and services, they buy your personal story. That is why they're going to raise their hand and say, you know what, tell me more. It's time. I need to do that. And this is crazy, guys. I just got a text from somebody that I worked with years ago, pre-Shaklee, and she had reached out. She had liked one of my posts, and I always like to reach out and I say, hey, thanks for loving on my post. Are you interested in learning more about the Prove It Challenge or Menopause Balance Complex or whatever, or are you just loving on me? That's one of the cool kind of reach outs that I do. So I say, are you just loving on me, or do you want to learn more about X, whatever I talked about? So this person and I played phone tag, and we had a call scheduled, and it didn't work out. She's got like literally 8 kids. I'm not kidding. And but her husband, so I just reached out to her because I did a big list for Bob Heilig in his training the other day, and she was on top of it. So I just went ahead and texted her. She's like, you know what? I'm actually doing really well right now with, I don't know, she's following somebody in a blog somewhere doing something. But she's like, but Dallas, her husband really needs help. And she shared my Saturday spotlight with Casey Smith, and it's a gentleman that has lost 20 pounds on the cleanse since January. And she showed him that testimonial that I shared on my Saturday spotlight last weekend. And so she's like, I don't need it, but I think Dallas does. So what's the cost? And, you know, they're very budget conscious, obviously, with 8 children to feed. And so she's like, I will share that with him. And so here we go. So Amy's not going to do it, but Dallas might, right? So that story of Casey and his, you know, I just asked him a few questions and he answered them, and I asked him if I could post it, and he said, sure. So don't ever underestimate the power of a story, okay? Because Dallas was not my target, but it was also a guy's story, right? So it's these women reading it, knowing that their husband needs to get healthier. So just keep all that kind of stuff in mind. Okay, next. Okay, so social media. So there's a technique called breadcrumbing. So what I don't want you guys to do is go, oh gosh, March 2nd, there's a Prove It Challenge. I better just start talking about the Prove It Challenge. You start putting out there Shaklee's beautiful Prove It Challenge images and video on your website and your link. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't ever put your link in a post, okay? I rarely want to see a video in your posts, okay? I did do one because I'm in that video that Crystal showed, and Crystal's family's in that video, which I love a lot. And there's a video of me with a pink tank top on working out. And I'll say, hey, can you spot me in this amazing new favorite video of Shaklee, you know, and see whatever. And people will just watch it. And it's not to promote anything. It's just super fun. And, you know, I kind of make it really light. People that are curious will click on it. So what you want to do is, I very seldom use Shaklee's marketing, but I will use it to kind of amp up what I'm doing. So if I'm doing a post with multiple pictures, I'll use my own and I'll use some of theirs to kind of, you know, kind of spruce it up a bit. So you start breadcrumbing. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how to schedule your social media, but what we're all getting into is a system with this Prove It Challenge. So we know the dates of our Prove It Challenge starting. So then what we need to do is back up, okay, what's the absolute deadline to order the Prove It Challenge so they have it in time to start, right? And then before that, it's like, okay, what's a good amount of time to start talking about this Prove It Challenge? Probably 2 weeks from the deadline to order. So by about 14 days, about 2 weeks prior to your deadline is when you're going to start talking about whatever you want to start inviting to. Okay, so we've committed, Crystal and I both committed as leaders to have a solid calendar in place with our Prove It Challenge rollout dates, and then also online health chats as well. Those are the two things that as teams we'll do together. Now, anything above and beyond that, whether it's an in-home, you know, you guys can schedule on your own, talk to your business partner or whatever. So what you start doing is breadcrumbing. So we all know that, so you start like just sprinkling a little bit of info, a little bit of curiosity, start talking about what you've been doing prior to kind of the big push for the Prove It Challenge. And so during that 2 weeks, you're going to start talking about, so we all know, most of us know that what the cleanse improves is our sleep, our mood, our energy, what else? Weight loss, you know, digestion, taste buds change, cravings change. There's so much to talk about. So like, I will literally list out all the things, and then I will do like a Google search on, you know, I don't know. I mean, you don't even need to do a Google search, but I did one actually on sleep. So like this last week I did one on sleep and the importance of sleep. And I just did, it was Healthline is great for just doing some quick searches on, and all the things that sleep affect negatively, I posted on there, and weight gain is one of them. So it's important for us to all sort of just start talking about that, but I'm educating, and I got a lot of comments on that post. People are like, oh my gosh, but I started out with a story. So if you guys read that post, I encourage you to go back and look at it. I have like a eye sleep thing on, and a cute little pillow that I'm holding on to. But I talked about by saying I legit cried when I would put my baby to bed. Trish is behind me. Yep. She witnessed it. And I would cry because I knew he'd be up in 2 hours. And I was like, why do I even want to go to bed? I'm just going to have to get up in 2 hours, right? I was so sleep deprived. I was out of my mind. And I realized for me personally, like sleep is so important. And that was also something I got back from my Prove It challengers. What was your biggest takeaway? And they're like, holy cow, I need to get serious about getting to bed. I need sleep. Sleep is my like superpower. When I get it, I'm on fire. And so, but they didn't realize that without going through the Prove It challenge, right? And so that was something that I talked about, and I created all this commentary underneath that post about sleep. But I started out with a personal story about me and sleep. And so it's just retelling a story. So that connected with a lot of women who were like, oh my gosh, the baby stage was horrific for me. Some people are like, my baby sleeps at 2 weeks. It's amazing. I'm like, yeah, that was never me. So, but you know, like babies have nothing to do with Shaklee, so to speak, in my situation, or the Prove It challenge, but it planted a seed in how important sleep is, right? So does that resonate with you guys as far as like a breadcrumbing post, like just talking about that, right? And then, you know, like in my stories the other day, I put like a half a thing of cauliflower, like chopped up or diced up or pulsed in my thing, and put it into my ground beef for taco night. So like there was a day where I would just do a pound of ground beef with seasoning and call it a day. Here we go, Taco Tuesday. Well, now it's that and a half a head of cauliflower, you know, mixed in with my meat. So, you know, because I put eat more plants, I could hashtag Prove It challenge, you know, all those types of things. are important. And people are like, well, what the heck? Why is she doing that? This must be something that has to do with this like prove it challenge she's talking about all the time. So it's just stuff like that that keeps people thinking. And so I challenge you, if this is something that is a challenge for you, like if you want to get on like a brainstorm, if you're like, listen, I just want some ideas to brainstorm behind this, like talk to your upline. I love this kind of stuff. Like Dana and I have a joke. She like sends me a picture and then she's like, what's my theme? What should I talk about? Because she has a cute picture. And then I'm like, I name it. And she's like, oh my God, we're gonna do this every day. I'm like, okay. So for like these breadcrumbing pics, I've got like got gas, I'm very like, I don't really care about it. I talk about this stuff all the time. Our oversized shirts are jam. There was a time and place where I was always bloated, and I was fit and in good shape, but my belly was always bloated. So I'd always have the fitness shirts that were like really ruchy so that they kind of covered up my bloated belly, right? And now I don't have to worry about that. Do you actually go to bed early? How frustrating is it to actually go to bed early, get your sleep, but still wake up groggy and tired? Clearly, that means that it's something they're eating. It's probably a food trigger, looking like maybe here's a picture of your dog and they have their like leash or they're like looking at you like another walk, but you have zero energy. So, does that kind of stuff resonate with you? It may or may not. And it's like holiday weight gain, the gift that keeps on giving. Like you still haven't shed that holiday weight gain. And it's now, February. So, it's just talking about that because legit, these are the kinds of things that people are dealing with. They're sitting on their couch, their dog wants another walk, and they're like, hell no, I am so tired. But really, they shouldn't be that tired, right? They should have at least a little bit more energy to go walk their dog. And I guarantee you, if they did the Prove It Challenge and they cleaned up their health and their eating, they would have the energy to do that. So anyway, just wanted to kind of, those are some of the cool like breadcrumbing kind of posts that kind of can revolve around the Prove It Challenge, make you seem realistic and authentic. And then when there is a call to action, at the end, it's like, listen, if this resonates with you, it's time to take me up on my 30-day challenge. Join me in March. We'll have an Ease In Week in February. You're going to learn so much about food and what's so unique to your body, and those are the types of things that you can talk about. Okay, Crystal. All right, so Instagram stories. So this is something that Crystal had pulled. She did a search on this and came up here. So this is called crowdfireapp.com. So I have a blog. So she said it was a really great story. So if you guys want to kind of jot this down and take a look, it's like 5 ways to benefit your business. Take a look at that. And but I wanted to talk about Instagram stories. So we've all seen them, I'm sure. We've seen somebody's stories. If we're not doing them ourselves, we've seen other people's stories. So can you go to the next slide, Crystal? Okay, so my biggest thing, I'll never forget, Laura Agabo, she had said to me, okay, I just feel like I'm constantly taking pictures and then sitting down and my kids are like right next to me and I'm having to do my stories. Like I'm stressed out. Like this is stressing me out. I don't know. I just can't do it. And I said, I mean, she didn't say she couldn't do it, but she did say it was stressing her out. I said, Laura, here's the thing. Your kids are so used to you taking their pictures. I mean, we all take pictures of our kids all the time, right? Or we're taking pictures in general. So I said to her, Laura, why don't you just document your day? Don't worry about posting. Okay. But just if you see an opportunity or moment, just take a photo. So for instance, I said here, you going to the gym, it can be an dark 30 photo, selfie in your car, your commute. Maybe your commute looks like 3 different, containers of water and a hard-boiled egg and your shake or whatever. It's all like mushed into your front seat. You're doing your strip and shake, your lunch, your favorite water bottle. Maybe it's your afternoon temptation. It's your coworker's candy bowl right next door. Dinner prep, go live real quick. If you're doing a quick dinner prep, just go, hey guys, oh my gosh, so excited to try this new recipe, or I had this new ingredient, thought I'd just get on here and show you. It is amazing. It's gluten-free, dairy-free. It has, whatever in it, extra veggies, like got it at Whole Foods. Give it a try. It's on sale this week. Boom, that's all you need, right? 45 seconds, 1 minute. What you're reading, if you're currently into self-development, or if you have a podcast that you're listening to and you screenshot it and share it out. Those are the types of things that you just sort of document. And then at the end of your day, or maybe it's your lunch break, or maybe it's first thing in the morning. For a while there, I was dropping my kids off at the bus stop. And then when I got home, before I even went into the house, I basically did my last 24 hours in stories in my minivan. And then I went into the house, took my shower, got ready for my work day, and started my work day. So I said just one time, and they do say you should do more than once a day, but listen, we're all human and we can't do this all day long. And then just sit down and just post about it. Because once you get in a groove, adding your funnel stickers, adding a poll, and those are really important, you guys. I didn't realize how important they were until I started doing them and seeing who was interacting with me. So for instance, under the favorite water bottle, if you're like, hey, are you getting your ounces in, half your body weight in ounces every day? Question mark, yes or no. What's your favorite water bottle? And ask a question. They might say Contigo. They might say, Hydro Flask or Yeti, whatever it is, right? And so you just start getting them to interact with you. And so just posting once a day, this will be such a game changer for you, because you're also going to look for opportunities to find healthy things to like talk about. So you want to be healthier to be able to talk about more healthy stuff, right? So just keep that in mind. And if there's anything you guys take away from today, it would be to really start getting serious about your stories, because that's who you actually see, who is identifying with you, who's following you on a consistent basis. Those are the people that you're going to reach out to about the Prove It Challenge or about joining you in this business. Okay. How are we on time? Oh, we're there. Huh. Okay. Real quick. And if anybody has to go, you guys totally can go. For those of us that struggle with the content calendar, I think it's important to note that there are 2 of them that Shaklee offers. Crystal put both in here. The one on the left is more of an interactive one in which you can actually click on, and it will actually bring up different media that Shaklee has that you can actually use. Okay. And then they also have this one on the right, and that's more like, I think they have like national holidays on there, like, National Ice Cream Day. They've got stuff like that from what I can remember. I can't really read, it's very small, but they also have Mission Possible, I think, is on there. There's a bunch of different things. So basically it's a calendar. So they're under you can see the 2 hyperlinks on here. It's under images.shaklee.com/library social calendar. But we'll put it in the group. We'll put these 2 links in the group for the calendars, and just see what works for you. Some of it might kind of give you some ideas in terms of what to post, just in terms of content. I think a big part of social media is having a plan. Maybe we need to fast forward this or do the next slide. There we go. So planning is super important. Can you do one more? Okay. So I like to plan backwards from the things that we invite to, right? So I talked about that a little bit earlier. So if you look at your calendar and you're like, okay, I know that the next challenge starts March 2nd. I know that we're going to do like a sneak peek opportunity on February 25th. I'm making this up. I know that we're going to do, I'm going to hopefully do a smoothie party next month at the end of the month, or whatever it is. Like, kind of have your plan, and then you put that on your calendar. And then from that, you start working backwards. When do I need to start promoting it? When do I need to start breadcrumbing? When do I need to, that type of thing. And so it's really important that's when you have a plan, when you have the things to invite you. That's what makes this business beautiful. It's not you just saying, hey, do you just want to try my smoothie? And they're like, sure. You're like, no, hey, do you want to come to my smoothie party? You're going to like 14 meals, or maybe you guys do a sample promotion or whatever it might be. Like, it's so much easier just to invite to things. I mean, we've all found this out to be the case in this business. Invite to the Prove It Challenge, invite to a smoothie party, invite to an open house or a youth event or an online type thing. So, but in order to invite to it, you've got to have some interest that's been kind of out here, right? And you can look at people who've resonated with your post, who's liked it, who's commented, who people you've talked to kind of out and around town. Okay, but forward. All right, so time blocking is also super important, and that's where it's part of the plan, right? So you have your plan. Okay, I know what I'm going to do this month, or next month. I know pre-event how I need to start talking about it on social media. So now I need to look at my planner. There's non-negotiables on all of our weeks. I actually use this thing called Worksheet Works. I like to actually play with my planner and like write stuff out, and then I'll put it into my actual planner. It you can use I have an actual planner too. It's actually on my kitchen table. But it kind of goes hour by hour. And this actually helped me because most weeks are pretty similar. I think for most of us, our kids are in like, Monday, Wednesday, Friday preschool or all day school. And then you have practice that you have to drive to. And then you have your morning commute if you work, and your afternoon, commute, and your lunch hour. So all the areas that are non-negotiables in which you have to focus on something other than Shaklee, put it in your workout, your commute, like all the different things I just talked about when you have to travel with your kids to their practices, when their games are, that type of thing. If you have a women's group or a book club. And then you look at the areas in which you have free. So on a lunch hour, for those of you that work full time, that could be where you're inviting to your next event, right? Maybe you get up earlier in the morning and you create your content. When are you freshest to write and be creative? Is it late at night? Are you a night owl? Or you like to get up early in the morning and create when everybody else is sleeping? And so it's important to kind of identify these little areas, these little pockets of time, because all of us are super busy, in which we can get these actionable items done. The invites. Inviting is what is going to move the needle in your business, okay? Social media is important to find out who we're going to invite stuff to, right? Who are the people that are interested in what we're doing? Who is resonating with what we have to say? So that's where doing an exercise like this, I think, is really important in terms of using a worksheet or like a planner that's almost like an hour by hour. It sounds kind of crazy, but if you think about it, we waste so much of our time just scrolling on social or, just getting on, going to do an online shopping. They're like, oh, you did all this shopping, and they're like, I don't really need it anyway. And you just like totally wasted like 45 minutes of your time looking at AnnTaylorLoft.com. You know what I mean? So, just really say, no, this lunch hour is my time to do invites and reach out. I'm not getting on AnnTaylorLoft.com, right? Okay, next. Okay, so here's a big thing that I like to talk about. So some of us, we like to meet you where you're at in your business. So some of you maybe identified that you are a Holly hobby. So you're like, you know what, I'm okay with just kind of sharing with some friends, sharing with some family. I may ask a girlfriend of mine to join me in this business. I want to make, a pretty meaningful income, but I'm not going to like go gangbusters. I'm just kind of comfortable doing that. Okay, fine. And then there's others who are like, you know what, I want to be a boss babe. I want to make this a meaningful income. I want to have a meaningful business. I would love to lead some women in this team. And so that's where you need to look at your time and how you prioritize your time. So I feel like as women, we want to do so much for so many people. Like that's what we're wired to do. And so where and who you spend your time with really matters. How are you actually maximizing the hours in your day? Are you getting up earlier than you normally would because you're going to bed earlier when you're kind of wasting your time, watching repeat, Netflix, like Netflix-orama, right? So I think, also like saying yes to every request at school. I think so many of us that choose to not work outside the home in an official role, in a corporate role, that we feel like we have to say yes to the teacher for everything. I need paper sorted. I need someone to come staple whatever. And it's really, it's like, does that bring you joy? I think I want you guys to ask yourselves that. Does that bring you joy? There are certain things that I will do for my child's school. Like I will drive drive, be a chaperone for field trips. Like that's my thing. I love interacting with the kids, interacting with the moms, and like a casual, but I don't love being in the classroom. Like I don't love stapling papers, organizing the class. I just don't. That's not me. It doesn't bring me joy. But what does bring me joy is interfacing with my kid and his friends in my minivan on the way to a nature museum, and then being with them all day and keeping up with them. Like that, I can do that like 2-3 times a year. So, I really want you guys to start thinking about that, because so many of us do so much for other people and for whatever, volunteerism, and it's important, but just make sure you are really identifying like what really is important to you, what does bring you joy. Because at the end of the day, if you really do want to build this business, you have to prioritize your time and who you spend that time with. And so I really want to kind of hit on that as well. Okay, so time blocking. Okay, we probably not really have time for this because we're already, yeah. Okay, so all right, so this is where Crystal takes over. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Cindy, so much. Guys, we know we are a little bit past the time, but we knew that content was so important. And Cindy is such a rock star on social media. She's so fun to follow on stories, and just her posts in general are really inspiring. And that's, again, why we want to make sure that you're following each other, because we all inspire each other. And you can take content that Cindy has done about sleep, and you can spin it to your own authentic, experience, and take your own pictures and add them too, but allow each other's posts to inspire each other, and make sure that you take a few minutes in your day to comment on each other's stuff. It really increases the algorithms of who sees what when there's comments. Fun fact, make sure it's at least 4 words, because it boosts the algorithm if Facebook or Instagram actually sees that you took time to comment. Fun fact for you. So make sure you're doing that. But we want to make sure that this is your best year yet. And we just want to thank you for taking the time today on a Sunday afternoon, that you would take such a chunk out of your day and your week to invest in yourself and your business. The result of you being a part of this, the ripple effect is going to be huge, and you're only going to see that over time. But it's so moving that we get to be a piece of your ripple effect. So we're honored that you have been on here today. Make sure that if you're not familiar with the dream trips that are coming up in the next year to Australia and to Cancun, and if you don't understand how to earn those, please reach out to either of us. We'd love to help make a specific game plan and help you understand that, as well as how to earn an extra 20K or even part of that in 2020 as well. I want to just show you a couple of the things that I'm also going to be posting in the Facebook group, because it really is true that you have to be planning towards something, whether it's an event and you're back, you're working backwards, so you know how to invite to different events and you know the time frame. But also think of that in terms of your business as well. I always tell people, if you were trying to get to New York and you're using a map of Ohio to get to New York, you're never going to get there, right? You have to know your destination, and you have to know what map you're following to get there. So your destination is what you get to decide. So I wanted to just show this to you, because this is something that's been super impactful for my team in the past, and this is what we're closing with. You're going to do this on your own time. If you still have time right now, I would recommend, like, if you're locked in your office and your husband or your kids are at a play date or whatever, like stretch this out. Write it out as long as you can, of being able to stay focused, but track your progress. Some people just don't think that it's irrelevant or that it's helpful, or maybe it stresses you out, but I encourage you to give it a try. So for example, if your goal this month is to have 1,000 PGV, okay, you want 10 people to start the Prove It Challenge, or maybe one person gets the youth kit and you have this many Prove It Challenge and whatever. So set specific goals as to who you're reaching out to about what, and what your ultimate volume, your PV goal is, okay? So for example, if February was for 1,000, I recommend that you break it down into a weekly goal. 30 days is too long to be striving towards something, because we are like squirrel, 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 and we lose focus. But if we can break it down per week, and some people like to break it down per day. I'm a weekly type of girl, but break it down per week. Theory has it that in a basketball game, there's 4 quarters. That's not a theory, it's true. But the theory is whichever team wins the most quarters of that game, the most points in that quarter, wins the whole game. There's like a bunch of stats on this. Don't quote me. Somebody told me once, and even if it's not true, it's a great analogy, but I'm pretty sure it's a true stat. So meaning, if you break your month into 4 quarters, like a basketball game, and you try to win each week, right? So if your goal is 250 PGV this week, and you tackle it, you're like, yes, okay, moving on to next week. And you're striving towards the end goal, which is 1,000 PGV, whatever your number is. What we want you to do in the last homework assignment we're going to give you for this is that you create a game plan and you start tracking what you're doing each week, so that you're always striving towards a specific number. If you're just like, oh, I hope I do great this month, I mean, like, what's great? So you have to know, like, what are you striving for? And in our business, it's all measured by your volume, whether it's OV, if you have multiple leaders under you, or just personal volume that you're just starting to build. Okay? So set vivid goals for yourself, making sure that you know exactly what you're striving for in the next month, in the next 60 days, in the next 90 days, by global conference. So we're going to be posting this action in the page and ending with that so that you, again, if you have time, I would be working on that right now. What are you striving for this month? We still have 2 whole weeks in February. What do you want to tackle in this next 2 weeks? So we're going to give you that action item. Again, we'll be giving away prizes for that as well as you comment and you share what your goals are. And this is, again, you do you. Your goals are for you. If they seem small to you or mine seem big to you, it doesn't matter. You do what's good for you. And I'll end with my favorite quote from Dr. Shaklee: your future life will be exactly what you decide to make it. One day in heaven, I can't wait to kiss that man and give him a big old hug, because he has changed my family's life forever. And I know that he's changed so many of yours too. So this is going to be available to you. This is recorded. We hope that you've gotten value from it. We hope that you implement and that you keep having that ripple effect of people responding to you from the action that you did today. So we want to just thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to stick around if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer them. But thanks for staying a few minutes past. We hoped that we could get all this content in, and we did it. So we're excited for you guys and honored that you would join us. Cindy, do you want to say anything before everybody hops off?
I'm just so excited about the momentum that we've created just so far with just this year in general. And I really want you guys to really take advantage of what is offered within our teams in terms of the Prove It Challenge or anything to invite to. It is just really important. I think that the power of community is so key, of just, that is something that we're just missing today more and more as a society, is just finding your people and having that community that encourages you to just constantly level up and become a better version of yourself. And so we're all a part of something very, very special. And people want to be a part of that, whether it is just through the Prove It Challenge to get healthier and just be excited about that, or it is doing that and also being a part of our team to help others feel that way. So just never doubt that what you're doing, even if you think it's so little, it is changing lives. So continue to just share your heart and share this business and its products with those that are in your circle. So thank you, Crystal, for being such a great leader on this call. I really appreciate it.
You too, girlfriend. And I will be posting everything in the group. There'll be lots of content in there. Don't let it overwhelm you. Lots of comments of who's won, different things, because I've been keeping notes and I have a list here. So Cindy and I will be giving you guys tons of fun stuff, which we have for you. So again, thank you so much. Again, I'm going to stop recording, but I'll stick around if you have anything you want to ask me. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.